Hi, this is Hardball Retro. Welcome to the Retro Dome. This video is a companion to a series of articles on my hardballretro.com website. The main article is located under the Retro Replays category and is titled Hardball Retro Replays, Sim Seasons with Original and Actual Half-Decade Rosters. The original rosters are based on the research from my book, Hardball Retrospective, where I assigned every Major League ball player to the first team that signed them to a professional MLB contract. Each player remains on their assigned original team for the duration of their careers. I take the top 40 players from each roster based on win shares, using each player's best season in the 5-year period. I run the simulation for at least 10 seasons in each half-decade. The team with the highest victory total within a given season receives 1 point. If 2 or more teams tie for the lead, each team receives a half point. The team with the most points after 10 seasons is declared the winner. However, if no team led or tied for the lead in at least 4 out of 10 seasons, the simulation continues until at least one team reaches that criteria. The main article includes a full explanation of my methodology, along with links for each replay's recap and season-by-season results. So in this video, we're going to review the season-by-season recaps and then the final totals for the 1970 through 74 Hardball Retro Originals. We're using Digital Diamond Baseball version 11.2.9, and we're going to dive right in. We're going to go to the first season, which I've already loaded into the game, so we're just going to click on Season Overview. Okay, and it looks like by a single victory, the Twins are the winner of the first season of our replay here. But we've got 3 teams with over 100 victories, so let's take a look at how everything played out in the divisions here. So over in the American League East, we've got Boston by 14-game margin over the Orioles. Above 500, we have the Tigers, Yankees, and Indians, and the Brewers have 116 losses. So I will mention right away that the Brewers, the Royals, basically the expansion teams from '69, Brewers, Royals, Expos, Padres, they all include, if there was anyone that played in the majors in 1969 and would qualify as an original player for them. It's not somebody that they grabbed in the expansion draft. It's somebody that they actually signed or drafted onto their team as their first professional contract. So I just wanted to mention that the '69 season would qualify for those expansion clubs. There's probably just a handful of players, but mention it anyway. But definitely here you can see that they're at an obvious disadvantage in this particular replay. But they did have enough players to at least form some type of a roster here. I probably used some fill-in players for all of these. So let's go back to the East here. Like I said, everybody above 500 except for the Brew Crew. Boston with a 264 run differential, which was actually second in the majors to the Twins with 285 over here. So the American League West, we've got the Twins with 108 victories, tops in the majors, 16 games better than Oakland. The White Sox above 500, everybody else below 500 in the West. NL East, we've got the Phillies, only 90 victories, 8 games better than Pittsburgh, everybody else sub 500. And in the National League, we've got the Giants by a 2-game margin over the Braves. Nice run differential for the Giants there, 227. Astros pretty strong at 95 wins. Reds, Dodgers 88. Actually, the Royals leading the way with 118 losses. All right, let's see how the leaders shake out here. American League, Rod Carew, no surprise there. Batting title, 356. Mike Hargrove, human rain delay, second with a 340 for Texas. Carew's teammate, Tony Oliva, 339, coming in third. Elliot Maddox for the Tigers, 324, and Carly Yastrzemski, 323 for Boston. Home run leaders, Tony Conigliaro, 44, one better than his teammate Yastrzemski, and Harmon Killebrew of the Twins. Darren Johnson for the Yankees, 37, and Reggie Smith with 36 for the Twins. AL RBI leaders, Harmon Killebrew, two better than his teammate Reggie Smith. So you can see immediately why the Twins have a strong team here. Their lineup is pretty stacked. Killebrew, Smith, Carew, Oliva. No surprise there. Yaz, third in RBIs with 137. Teammate Tony C, 131. And there's Oliva with 123. Over in the senior circuit, you've got the Roadrunner, Ralph Garr, with a 367 batting average, taking the title there over Joe Torre at 360. Charlie Hustle, Pete Rose, 335. Rico Carty, 333 for the Braves, and Willie Crawford of the Dodgers at 329. Hank Aaron, 62 round trippers, leads the way in the home run department. What is he? 14 better than Pop Stargell, Willie Stargell of the Pirates. Dick Allen, 45 for the Phillies. Frank Howard of the Dodgers with 44. Tony Perez, 43 for the Reds. Aaron with 167 RBIs. Willie Stargell, 161. Tony Perez, 130. Billy Williams, 129. And Willie McCovey, stretch with 127. Pitching. Roger Nelson of the White Sox, 2.16. Rudy May, Twins, 236. Fred Bean of the Orioles, 251. Mickey Lolich, Tigers, 264. Fritz Peterson, Yankees, 295. We've got Burt Blyleven and Roger Nelson tied with 21 victories, followed by Lolich, Wilbur Wood, and Bill the Spaceman Lee. Saves, John Hiller, 49 for the Tigers. Bill Campbell, 43 for the Twins. Mudcat Grant, 43 for the Indians. Tom Buskey of the Yankees, 42. And Sparky Lyle, 39er. NL pitching. Ken Forsch, 2.56, takes the ERA crown over Tom Seaver of the Mets, Don Sutton, Gaylord Perry, Steve Carlton. So after Forsch, we've got, four Hall of Famers there. Wins, Sutton, 21, Steve Blass with 20, Carl Morton with 20 for the Braves, Gaylord Perry, 20 for the Giants, and Bob Gibson, 19 for the Cardinals. Save leaders, we've got two tied with 39, Mike Marshall and Orlando Pena of the Reds, Marshall of the Phillies, Dave Justy, 36 for the Stros, Stan Williams, 36 for the Dodgers, and 33 saves for Clay Carroll. Look at the leading vote getters for MVP and Cy Young. AL MVP, we've got Yaz with a 21 vote margin over Reggie Smith. Harmon Killebrew, Tony Conigliaro, Tony Oliva. AL Cy Young, we've got Roger Nelson, 5 better than Burt Blyleven, Wilbur Wood, Mickey Lolich, Rudy May. NL MVP, 444 votes for Aaron, over Stargell, Morgan, McCovey, and Allen. And NL Cy Young, we've got Gaylord Perry, 5 votes better than Don Sutton. And then also in the mix, Carl Morton, Steve Blass, Bob Gibson. All right, so that's our season 1 overview. Let's dive into our reports here and special events. And we'll take a look and see if there were any high strikeout games, any no-hitters, guys hitting for the cycle, inside the park homers, 6-hit games, 5 stolen base games, that type of thing. Triple plays, take a look at. So we've got the Twins with 1 point in the lead, but we have Boston had a strong season. The Giants had a strong season. A couple other teams in the 90 win range, so should make things interesting here. And in case if you haven't checked out my other videos, the comment I made earlier about fill-ins, you'll see a few players when we're looking at box scores with a plus sign. The plus sign means that they did not make the 40-man roster for their actual or for their original team, but I use them as a fill-in if there was a team that didn't have a player that met my criteria to make the 25-man roster, which is a minimum of 5 win shares in their best season. So if there was a gap at a position, or maybe they came up short by a pitcher or two, there will be fill-ins used from other teams just to have a complete roster. Okay, triple plays. We've got looks like more than a dozen. Home runs. King. Scratching my brain. Jim King, maybe. I'll have to look that one up. That's going to be Darrell Evans, Mike Schmidt, Hank Aaron. Oh, Frank Howard, 4-homer game. We're going to have to look at that. Tommy Agee. That's going to be Tommy Harper and Willie McCovey. All right. Hondo, Frank Howard. 10-1 victory over the Cubs. Goes yard 4 times. Yeah. 4 for 5, 6 RBIs, 4 homers, gave him 35 on the year. Look at our scorecard. We have home run, fly out to left, homer, 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 home run in the 9th inning against Bert Hooton. Okay, interesting. All right, so already got a 4-homer game. Willie Crawford 6 hits, but it was a 16-inning affair. It still counts, but not too many 3-steal games. Looks like usually a lot more than that. Cycle. McAuliffe and Gar hit for the cycle. Inside the park homers, we've got 8 of them here. I'm not going to click into these, but just for reference. High strikeout games, a couple guys with 13. Nothing earth-shattering, so we're going to move on. And this is where no hitters would be, so there were no no-hit games in Season 1. Let's advance to Season 2 then. Restore. Season 2. Take a look at our season overview here. And you can see over here, I've mentioned this in the other season recap videos, but 7001, 7002, and so forth. That's how I name the year in the schedule editor, so I can differentiate between seasons. And it's also helpful when I look at the encyclopedia reports. You can look at the previous season standings and award winners. You can sort them by season. So that's how we're doing it here. Okay, season 2, AL East. Boston barely over the Orioles, and the Orioles had a 201 run differential. So excellent season. Just came up a couple games short there. But look at that right at the end there. 8-game win streak by the Red Sox, 9-1 in their last 10. That put them over the edge. It looks like the Orioles were ahead there right up until the end of the season. Yankees, Detroit Indians, all above 500. Milwaukee again, 116 loss season. Actually, the worst among all the teams there by one game. AL West. We've got another close race. The A's by a single game over the White Sox. And it looks like here, 7-3 in their last 10, while the A's struggled down the stretch. So they just barely stayed ahead. But great season for the White Sox there. 206 run differential for Oakland. And Minnesota drops to 84 win season. Actually, I forgot to mention the winner, which is Boston with 102 wins. So now the Twins with 1 and Boston with 1 point. Everybody else sub 500 over here. Got the NL East. Pirates by 1 game, so tight races all around here. Pirates by 1 over the Cardinals. The Phillies made it a 3-team race, and the Mets were above 500. Over in the NL West, Giants by 1 game over the Reds. Giants with a 207 run differential. Reds had a strong team. The Braves dropped to 86 wins, and the Astros played 500 ball. Dodgers sub 500. So let's take a look. Season 2 leaders. And look at Lenny Randle, the 376 clip. Takes the crown away from Carew. Carew still hit 360, but Lenny that was a really incredible season for him. So kudos to Mr. Randle with the batting title. George Orta, 3rd for the White Sox. Lou Piniella, 4th for the Tribe. And Tony Oliva rounds out the top 5 in AL batting. Home run leader, Harmon Killebrew, 46. Tony Canigliaro, 44. There's Boog Powell, 43. Teammate Mike Epstein, 37. And Carlton Hudge Fisk, also 37. RBI, we got Tony Oliva, 4 better than his teammate Killebrew. Boog Powell, 3rd. Sal Bando of the A's, 125. And tied with Fisk, 125. NL batting, Richie the Gravedigger Hebner with a 346 batting average, taking the title over Joe Torre. Wes Parker of the Dodgers, Ted Simmons, 326, and Ralph Garr with a 326 average. So nice job by Hebner there. Home run crown goes to Willie Stargell with 52 over Tony Perez, Nate Colbert of the Cardinals, 46, Frank Howard, 46, Hank Aaron, 45, Willie Stargell, 145 RBI, 9 better than Dick Allen. Then we have Tony Perez, Nate Colbert, and Willie McCovey. AL pitching for season 2. We've got Catfish Hunter, takes the ERA crown with a 2.43. Better than Vida Blue, Fred Bean again, Jim Willoughby, there's your plus sign, he's a fill-in for the Royals, and Mike Paul, 2.82 for the Indians. Catfish Hunter's 21 victories led the league, followed by Jim Palmer, Fritz Peterson, Wilbur Wood, Fred Bean. Save leaders, Ken Sanders for Oakland, 48. John Hiller, 43. Terry Forster, Mudcat Grant, and Sparky Lyle. Okay, NL pitching, we have Buzz Capra of the Mets, 2.04. Steve Rogers, 213. Orlando Pena of the Reds, 221. Dennis Blair of the Expos, 246. Gaylord Perry, 2.52. Bob Gibson, 21 wins, takes the lead in victories there over Jim Barr, Gaylord Perry, Don Sutton, Ray Culp. And saves, we have Elias Sosa of the Giants with 47, better than Ramon Hernandez, Orlando Pena, Lindy McDaniel, Dale Murray. Top vote getters, AL MVP, Carlton Fisk, 17 better than Harmon Killebrew. Then we have Boog Powell, Tony Oliva, Mike Epstein. AL Cy Young, we have Catfish Hunter, Fred Bean, Jim Palmer, Fritz Peterson, Wilbur Wood. And NL MVP, we have Willie Stargell by 40 over Dick Allen, Tony Perez, Willie McCovey, Nate Colbert. NL Cy Young, we have Bob Gibson, 10 better than Gaylord Perry, followed by Ray Culp, Jim Barr, Don Sutton. All right, that's our Season 2 overview. Let's go to our special events here. Pull this up. So again, at least in my opinion, we like to see some fluctuation from year to year. The Twins dropping from 108 wins down to 84. A couple other teams rising at or near the top of their divisions. And the leaderboards not stagnant. A lot of shuffling near the top, and some new faces each year. So that's always fun to see, in my opinion. I don't want to do a replay and have the exact same results. You know, that kind of defeats the purpose. But all right, scroll down a bit here. Here's our triple plays. 1, 2, 3, 4. What do we got? 8 of them, looks like. Home run events. Stargell, Canigliaro, Aaron, Killebrew, Kaline, Freehand, Bob Robertson, Colbert, Fisk, Kaline. All 3 homer games. We're not going to click into them. Oliva gets, no, sorry, not Oliva. Oliver, Al Oliver, 7 hits, extra innings. Carew, 6 hits. Looks like a 9 inning game. Scroll down a bit more. There's a couple more 3-steal games. A lot of Larry Lintz action here for the Spos. Cycle, 3 cycles, Tolan, Harper, Callison. In the park homers, only 4 of them. Strikeouts, 14 for Nolan Ryan, 14 for Sam McDowell, 14 for Steve Carlton. I think those are the strikeout highs. And here's our no-hitter, first no-hitter of this particular half-decade replay. We have the Angels with a 2-0 victory over the Royals and Andy Messersmith. Let's take a look at the box score here. Angels with 10 hits on the day. I forgot to look at the 8 strikeouts and 1 walk in 9 innings. All right. So for the Halos, it was Ed Kirkpatrick knocking in both runs. Royals lineup, we've got Brett, and we've got a bunch of fill-ins other than Al Callens and Jim Walford. So, this happens on occasion where it's not a strong lineup. So not a total shock that somebody would spin a no-hitter against a lineup such as this. Nonetheless, it's still a no-hitter. These are all major league players. They're just, some of them I had to grab from other teams to fill in openings on the active roster for Kansas City. So, it's not to say that these guys aren't decent players. Pete Ward, Frank Tavares, Bobby Mitchell, Bob Stinson, Johnny Jeter. These are some of these guys had a few decent years in them. At any rate, Messersmith only gave up the 1 walk, struck out 8. Who did he walk? Stinson. All right, well, there's your no-hitter. We will move ahead to season number 3 here. Let's see if Minnesota or Boston can move ahead in the points race here. Remember, as I mentioned, you've got to get 4 points in 10 seasons, or we keep playing until somebody reaches that mark. Let's go to the overview. Make sure we have a 7003 over here when it comes up. Yes, we do. All right, and the winner is the Giants. So the Giants now have 1 point. So we have Giants, Red Sox, and Twins, I believe, with 1 point apiece. Let's take the start up here in the AL East. We've got Boston 4 games better than Baltimore. Boston again, 200 plus run differential there. The Yankees finishing above 500 and everybody else below 500 here. AL West, A's over the Twins. A's with 102 victories. Just came up a little bit short on the overall victory total, but A's and the Twins with 200 run differential. So they're beating up on their opponents. NL East, Got the Pirates, 1.5 game lead over the Mets. Pirates 3 back, Cardinals 5 back, so a 4-team race pretty much there. And in the NL West, Giants and the Braves both over the 100 victory mark, but the Giants prevail and they get the point. 261 run differential, pretty stout. Reds were strong with 95 wins here as well. Dodgers 88, and the Astros finished 500. Padres 127 losses. Ouch. Not good. Not good. American League batting leaders. Ray Fosse, 338, 2 points better than Carew. Bobby Mercer, 332. Steve Braun of the Twins, 330. Lenny Randall, 326. Boog Powell, 47 round trippers, taking the home run crown. Here's an appearance from Reggie Jackson, 42. Mike Epstein, 35. Darrell Evans of the A's, 34. Bill Freehand, 34 jacks for the Tigers. RBI lead, Boog Powell, 141. Bill Freehand, second with 128, followed by Carlton Fisk, Tony Oliva, Herman Killebrew. NL batting leaders, we have Pete Rose, getting his first batting title of this particular replay. 361 over Joe Torre. I think that's his third runner up there, Mr. Torre. Rico Cardi, also of the Braves, 332. And Ralph Garr, 325 of the Braves. Dick Dietz at 329. So 3 Braves in the top 5 in batting. And that does not include Hank Aaron, who led the league with 52 circuit clouts and 152 ribbies. Willie Stargell second in both categories with 49 and 142. Willie McCovey third in both categories, 46 and 135. And rounding out the home run leaders, Dick Allen 44, Bobby Bonds of the Giants at 41. And the RBIs rounding out the top 5 there, Dick Dietz of the Giants, and Billy Williams, 129 for the Cubs. AL pitching, got Vida Blue, 2.47, also the win leader with 22. ERA, Jim Willoughby next for the Royals, 2.49. Rudy May, 270. Jim Palmer, 274. Wilbur Wood, 2.87. Joe Coleman, 19 victories. Fred Bean, Bert Blyleven, Jim Lundborg, rounding out the top 5 there. The Angels, Tom A. Murphy, 43 saves. One better than Bill Campbell. Tom Buskey, Ken Sanders, Steve Foucault. NL leaders, we've got Don Sutton, 1.9 ERA. Better than Gaylord Perry, Rick Russell of the Cubs, Bob Gibson, Nolan Ryan. Win leaders, Gaylord Perry, 25 victories. Don Sutton, 22. Ray Culp, Carl Morton, Phil Niekro. A couple of Braves down here in the top 5. Save leaders, Tug McGraw of the Mets, 49. Lindy McDaniel, 47, Cardinals. Clay Carroll, 44 for the Braves. Mike G. Marshall of the Phillies, 44. And Elias Sosa, 38 for the Giants. MVP voting, Boog Powell, 43 better than Carlton Fisk. Then we had Don Buford, 329. Bill Freehan, Darrell Evans. AL Cy Young, we have Vida Blue by 80 over Fred Bean. And then we have Wilbur Wood, Bert Blyleven, and Joe H. Coleman, Texas. NL MVP, we have Willie Stargell by 7 votes over Willie McCovey. Hank Aaron, Bobby Bonds, and Dick Dietz in the mix there. NL Cy Young, we have Gaylord Perry, 70 votes higher than the runner-up, Don Sutton. A couple of teammates, Carl Morton, Phil Necro, and then Mel D. Queen of the Reds. So that's the Season 3 overview. We'll take a look at our reports here in a second. I don't know why it's giving me an issue clicking out of this. So there we go. Okay. As per usual, I think I just have too many things open on my computer, bogging things down a bit here, but all right, go to special events for Season 3 here. All right, so the Giants made this 3-team race, right? Giants, Boston, and Minnesota have all won one of the replays so far. Give this a second to load up. There we go. Ooh, a lot of triple plays. I'm not going to look at those, but definitely more than a dozen. Home run events, we have Paul Blair, Hank Aaron, Johnson of the Yankees. That's Darren Johnson. Tommy Harper. Jimmy Wynn. Duke Sims. Mike Epstein. Bobby Bonds. Oscar Gamble, all with 3, so we're not going to click into any of those. Freddie Patek with 6 hits. Number of 3 stolen base games, we're not going to click on those. Cycle. Bill North, Carlton Fisk. Inside the park, 6 of them. Strikeouts, okay, we got a 15 strikeout game by Nolan Ryan. What else we got here? 14s by Bob Gibson. 16 by Seaver. That's a good one. Another 15 by Gibson there. And here's a no-hitter by Jim Barr of the Giants. 1-0 over the Padres. So again, we know the Padres are struggling quite a bit in these replays. We'll take a look here. 9 innings, 1 walk, 6 Ks. Let's look at our box score. And the Padres, again, as expected, a good number of fill-ins, but they do have 4 original Padres in the starting lineup here. Johnny Grubb, Dave, I think that's Dave W. Roberts, Hilton, Big Dave Winfield. So, again, not a great lineup, not an awful lineup. I mean, I would say leaning more towards not so good, but and then, as we said, it was just a 1-0 game. So, not much doing on offense for the Giants either, but we did have Johnny Grubb was the 1 walk. Jim Barr, 9 innings, 1 walk, 6 Ks, no hits. So there you go. All right, so we're through 3 seasons here. Let's get out of here, and we'll bring up our next season. All right, let's crack open season number 4 here. All right. Okay, if you recall earlier, we had what did we have? The Red Sox, the Twins, and the Giants, I believe, each with 1 point. And looking here, we have a new team. We've got the Braves with 108 victories. So they're going to get a point for season 4. So 4-way tie for first through 4 seasons. AL East. Scroll down a little bit here. Red Sox by 3 over the Orioles. Both teams pretty decent offense. Good run differential. Tigers and Yankees hanging above 500. Over in the American League West, we've got the Twins with 102 wins, 10 better than Oakland. The White Sox just a game behind the A's, and the Angels above 500. I think that was the first time I was able to say that for the 70 through 74 originals, so good for the Angels. Now I actually have the expansion Royals 1 game better than the Rangers here, so that's an interesting development. Back over here, we have the Brewers with 115 losses, no surprise there. And down here, you see the Padres and Expos, also 100 lost teams. In the NL East, Pirates by a single game over the Phillies, and the Mets just a hair above 500. And in the NL West, as we mentioned, the Braves just running away with it, 108 victories, 274 run differential. I've neglected to mention the Twins, 241, and the A's, 156. Excellent up there. But back to the West, we've got the Braves, 15 better than the Astros. The Giants and the Dodgers and the Reds all above 500. But not nearly good enough to compete with the Braves. So the notch a point for Atlanta here. Looking at the American League batting leaders, we have Rod Carew at 371. Mike Hargrove, 355. Rich Coggins of the Orioles makes an appearance here at 333. Just a shade better than his teammate Al Bunbury at 331, and Carl Yastrzemski. Home run leaders, we've got Reggie Jackson, 45. A couple better than Darren Johnson of the Yanks, Darrell Evans of the A's, Harmon Killebrew, and Jeff Burrows of the Rangers. That might be his first appearance on the list. Killebrew, 146 RBI, 20 better than Pudge Fisk. Darrell Evans, Jeff Burrows, Reggie Smith in the top 5 in the RBI leaders. Over in the National League, we've got Joe Torre finally claiming the batting crown at 351 after, if I recall correctly, 3 straight seasons as the runner-up. So good for Joe. Rico Cardi, 335, runner-up. Teammate Dusty Baker at 333. Pete Rose, 328, and Al Oliver, 327. Home run leaders, Jimmy Wynn, the toy cannon with 56 blasts. One better than Hank Aaron. Frank Howard over 50 as well for the Dodgers. Johnny Bench at 45, Willie Stargell 45. RBI leader, Hank Aaron, 160. 18 better than Wynn. And we have Howard, Stargell, and McCovey. AL pitching leaders, Rudy May of the Twins, 2.41. A little bit better than Vida Blue. Roger Nelson, Pat Dobson of the Tigers, and Bert Blyleven of the Twins. But Blyleven takes home the lead in victories with 23. Rudy May, Roger Nelson, Wilbur Wood with 20 apiece, and Bill F. Lee with 18. Save leaders, Mudcat Grant, Indians, 42 saves. Ken Sanders of the A's, 41. Bill Campbell, Tom Buskey, Terry Forster. And in the NL, we've got Don Sutton, ERA leader, 2.28, followed by Steve Rogers, Steve Carlton, Don Wilson of the Astros, Nolan Ryan. Sutton, also the win leader with 23. Phil Niekro, 21. Gene Garber, 19. That's got to be primarily in relief, too, so that's pretty incredible. Carl Morton, 16. Bill Singer, 16. We've got save leaders, Dave Justy of the Astros, followed by Mike Marshall, Clay Carroll, Tug McGraw, Orlando Pena. MVP, American League, we have Harmon Killebrew by 7 votes over Darrell Evans. Reggie Smith, Carlton Fisk, Boog Powell rounding out the top 5 there. AL Cy Young, Bert Blyleven by 30 over Rudy May. Roger Nelson, Wilbur Wood, Marty Patton. NL MVP, Willie Stargell by 10 votes over Hank Aaron. Jimmy Wynn coming in 3rd, Frank Howard, Willie McCovey. And NL Cy Young, we've got Sutton, 320 votes. And that is, about 45 better than Phil Niekro, Gene Garber, Carl Morton, George H. Stone, Braves. So three Braves in the top 5 there. And, well, they had 108 victories, so there you go. All right, let's take a look at our special events for Season 4. Give this a moment to tabulate all the numbers here. And I've mentioned this in the other videos, but cool feature that was implemented in version 11 is the fact that you can append the 2-digit year to the player's last name. It does not affect the player photos, which are based on the player's first and last name. But for the replays, such as the one that I'm doing, it is extremely helpful to have that 2-digit year on there, so I know that it's Rod Carew 74 or Nolan Ryan 73, that type of thing. So. And that is done under the, I'm not looking at the screen right now, but I think it's library options, then miscellaneous options, and then I forget um, the way it's worded, but it has to do with the add a year to player name or something along those lines. But basically, there's a feature that you can turn on and off. Scrolled a little too far. There we go. Triple plays. Looks like about a dozen in season 4. Home run events. Johnny Bench. Billy Williams. John Milner. Reggie Jackson. Roy White. Roberts, San Diego. Dave Roberts. Um, with a 4-homer game. We're going to have to check that out. Jimmy Wynn. Jeff Burrows. Mike Epstein. So let's check out Roberts' 4-homer game against the Mets here. Not much going right for the Padres in this particular half-decade replay, but Dave W. Roberts, 4 for 5, 4 homers, 6 RBI. Look at the newspaper box. That's a pretty sweet-looking line there. He was playing second base. He was facing Seaver. Wow. 2 off of Seaver, 1 off of Dick Selma, and 1 off Danny Frizella. And we'll take a look at the scorecard. First inning homer, 4th inning homer, fly out to left in the 6th, 8th inning homer, 9th inning homer. Nice. Scrolling the wrong way there. Hits Steve Garvey and Charlie Moore, I believe. Okay, then we got skip RBIs, runs scored, steals. Oh, really low stolen base rate in this season. There's Larry Lintz again. 6 guys hitting for the cycle. And 7 inside the Parkers. 2 by Briggs, I see. Of the Phillies, Johnny Briggs. Strikeout events, 14, 13, 14, 16 by Bob Gibson. I would probably show something higher, in the 17 or 18 at least. Okay, I'm going to move on. No hitters. Forsch of the Astros throws a no-hitter. Ken Forsch, 1-0 over the Dodgers. Let's dive in and take a look here. A little deep dive. Houston starter allowed no hits, no runs, 6 strikeouts, and 6 walks in 9 innings. All right. There it is, blanking the Dodgers here. I would say that's a pretty decent lineup there. Parker, Grabarkowitz had a heck of a year in 70. Crawford, Howard, Davis, Garvey, Ferguson, Say, Lopes. Pretty good lineup. Nothing wrong with that. Any offense for the Astros? Cesar Cedeno, homer, 3 hits. That was it. Low run game. Jack Bellingham, the tough luck loser. And Force improved to 11-3. There's his line. All right, we're going to scoot out of here. Move on to season number 5. Bookstore. Let's see if we get a new winner here, or if somebody wants to take the lead in points. 4 different winners in the first 4 seasons. $7,005. All right. Boston 105 is the winner. So Boston goes up. Boston gains another point. They've got 2 now. And we'll just start with them in the East here. 271 run diff. Baltimore almost 200. And the Orioles just came up a few games short here. 6 games back. Yankees with 87 wins. And Tigers at 500. Milwaukee 120 losses. Ouch. That's painful. Over in the AL West, we've got the A's, 100 victories, 3 better than the White Sox. White Sox have been strong a couple seasons here. Be interesting to see if they can take the division at some point. Twins, 94, only 6 back. And the Angels again, back-to-back 500, better than 500 seasons for the Halos. And the Royals, 114 losses. Rangers, 101. NL East, another tight race. Mets take this one by a game and a half over Pittsburgh. Phillies, 6.5 back. Cardinals, 8.5. And the others below 500. I don't think we've seen a 500 year from the Cubs. Could be wrong. Giants, 5-game margin over the Dodgers. Giants and the Braves, nice run differential here. But the Braves finish 8 back here. And the Astros are 500. Reds are sub 500, and the Padres 111 losses. So let's take a look. Oh, we've got a new batting leader. Bobby Mercer of the Yankees, 362 average, takes the batting crown in season 5. Glenn Beckert of the Red Sox making an appearance at 325. Rich Coggins, 323. Carew, 321. Merv Rettenmund of the Orioles, 320. Tony Conigliaro, home run leader with 50. Bill Melton, 43 of the White Sox, makes his first appearance on the list, I believe. And these two, first and second in RBIs as well. Tony C, 5 better than Melton. Back in the home run list, we've got Darrell Evans, Harmon Killebrew, Darren Johnson. And the RBI list, we've got Carlton Fisk, Killebrew, Bobby Mercer. So Mercer making his presence felt here. We've got the National League leaders, Ralph Garr, 359, over teammate Rico Carty, over teammate Hank Aaron, and then we have Pete Rose and Joe Torre, 4 Braves out of 5. And that's why they had such a great offense. Hank Aaron, 55 and 185. That's incredible. But you can see he had a lot of base runners on, but still nothing to sneeze at there. Those are stellar marks. Dick Allen, second with 48 jacks and 132 ribbies. We've got Willie Stargell, 45. Frank Howard, 42. Nate Colbert of the Cardinals, 41. And over in the RBI column, we've got Billy Williams, third. 132. Willie Pop Stargell, 129. And Nate Colbert, 121. So pretty nice season out of Colbert there. AL pitching. All right, what do we got here? Wilbur Wood, Red Sox, 237. Also the win leader at 23. Bert Blyleven, second in ERA, 252. Then we have Roger Nelson, Catfish Hunter, Jim Cott. Wins after Wood, we have Nelson, Blyleven, Jim Palmer, Catfish Hunter. Save leaders, we've got Sparky Lyle, Ken Sanders, Terry Forster, Tom Buskey, Bill Campbell. NL pitching, we have a fill-in, which, as I mentioned earlier, designated with a plus sign. So Dick Banny of the Padres, 222. Just a little bit better than Gaylord Perry of the Giants. Pat Jarvis of the Cubs, 248. Phil Niekro, Bob Moose, 281. Pretty sure that's, well, obviously Dick Banny's first appearance, but also I think Jarvis and Moose. Haven't seen their names before appear. Perry, 21 victories, leading the way. Ron Reed, Don Sutton with 20. Steve Carlton, Clay Kirby of the Cardinals, both with 19. Saves, we got 46 from Tug McGraw, one better than Ron Peronowski of the Cubs. We've got Stan Williams of the Dodgers, Mike Marshall, and Lindy McDaniel. Rounding out the top five. AL MVP goes to Tony C. 5 better than his teammate Fisk. Bobby Mercer third, Boog Powell, Darrell Evans. AL Cy Young, also Red Sox, Wilbur Wood, followed by Roger Nelson, Bert Blyleven, Jim Palmer, Catfish Hunter. NL MVP, well, you saw Hank Aaron's numbers, so that is not a surprise there. 453 votes. Stargell, Dick Allen, Bobby Bonds, Billy Williams. And NL Cy Young goes to Gaylord Perry, followed by Ron Reed, Don Sutton, Clay Kirby, Phil Niekro. Take a look at our special event report here. Okay, so Boston goes up by a point over the Twins, the Giants, and the Braves, I believe. I've probably mentioned this somewhere along the way, but basically I create my 40-man lineups, 40-man rosters. I set their lineups versus righties and lefties. I set the opening day roster, which is the top 25 guys in win shares for each team. With a couple specifics, like, you've got to have 2 catchers. Pretty consistent with 5 starters, 5 relievers. Might be some teams with 6 relievers, depending on some teams are kind of, more leaning heavily on the pitching side, so I'll include another reliever if that's the case. I set their rotations, I set their bullpen, and then I just let the computer play out the replay. Righty. Triple plays, about a dozen again. Home runs. 3 homer games by not sure about the name pronunciation on this one. I'm going to go with Bork. I'm probably wrong, but we'll give it. We're just going to, as I kind of started following baseball in the mid 80s, so some of the older player names I might mess up a pronunciation here and there, and that's just the way it is. Roberts, Padres, Dave Roberts again, Dave W. Roberts. Here's Grabarkowitz with a 3-dinger game. Carl Yastrzemski, Thurman Munson, Tony Conigliaro. I'm assuming it's Tony and not Billy, but and Frank Howard, 3 homers. Hits in the game. Johnson of the Phillies. That's Alex Johnson. Why do I know that? Because he played for the Angels in 1970 and won the batting title. There we go. Some more 3-steal games. A little more running in this season. Hits for the cycle. 3 of them. Tolan, Morgan, Agee. In the park homer. Looks like we got 8 of those. Strikeout events. See if we have any really good ones. These are all 12, 13, 14, 16 from Nolan. Kind of looking for 17 or better, I would say. No hitters. Oh, a fill-in with a no-hitter. Let's check this out. McQueen of the Royals no-hits the Brewers. And we know that both teams struggle in the 1970 through 74 originals half-decade replays. Mike McQueen. 4 strikeouts, no walks. Oh, was it a perfect game? Let's see. No hits, no walks. Newspaper box. The Royals did not have an error. The Royals had 4 hits from Jim Walford. They had 3 hits from, I think it's Chris Arnold. A couple of RBIs there. Larry Haney with a homer. The Brew Crew. A couple of pinch hitters even. Let's see. Oh, only 1, 2. Oh, yeah, decent number of fill-ins actually. But they had Charlie Moore. They had Freddie Lynn's debut season, not his rookie year, but when he came up in '74 and raked. Robin Yount, but kind of before he was Robin Yount. This is like the teenage Robin Yount version there. But some decent fill-ins even, so not a great lineup, honestly. McQueen, 9 innings, no hits, no walks, 4 Ks. Got his ERA down to 5.03 and improved to 4-9 on the season. Let's look at the scorecard for the Brewers. I'm not seeing anything that would indicate fly out, strikeout, line out. That looks like a perfect game. Mike McQueen, congratulations. You get a mention in the 1970 through 74 Hardball Retro Original Replay. Season 5, perfect game. Excellent. That's a name I'm going to have to look up because I'm sure I've heard of Mike McQueen before. Obviously, I got him plugged into the game here, but I can't say that I have any recall as to who he played for and what his numbers were. So maybe I can pull that up while we're waiting for the special events to load or something here. Because now I'm curious. All right, here comes season number 6. Season overview for season 6 coming up. Alrighty, let's see what do we got here. Oh, we've got a tie. The Athletics get a half point, and the Giants get a half point. So the Giants go to 1.5 points. The Red Sox are ahead with their 2 points, but Oakland gets on the board here, both with 101 wins. Over in the East, the Orioles outlast Boston. Boston closed with 9 straight wins to pull within the 1 game there. And the O's lost 3 in a row, but they held on by a single game. Yankees, Indians, Tigers all 500. Brewers improved to 53 and 109, so it's not something you hear that often, but yeah, 11 games better than their previous season, I think. The A's, 8 games better than the White Sox. 101 wins, 223 run differential. Twins, 9 games back. Angels, 84 and 78 again. Royals and Rangers battling for last in the West. Pirates, oh, they took the East by a significant margin this year. 12 better than the Phillies, 13 better than the Cards, 13.5 up on the Mets. Expos losing 100 games again. Padres losing 100 games again here. Giants, 8 better than the Astros, 193 run diff, pretty good. The Reds rebound to a 91 victory season. Braves with 90. Dodgers, uncharacteristic for them, 68 and 94, finishing 33 games out of first. Let's take a look at our American League leaders here. Rod Carew, 358, takes another batting title over Merv Rettenmund of the Orioles, 336. And we have Al Bumbry, Carlton Fisk, and Glenn Beckert. All of these guys have been up on the list before. Home run leaders, Carlton Fisk, 40, and 150 RBIs, leading both categories. One better in the homer department over Mike Epstein of the Orioles, who finished second in RBIs with 143. Then we have Darren Johnson, Greg Nettles, and Darrell Evans, the home run leaderboard. And rounding out the RBI list, we've got Reggie Smith, Bill Melton, Sal Bando. NL batting, we've got Billy Williams, 334. Just a point better than Willie Crawford of the Dodgers. We have Rico Carty, Ralph Garr, and Greg Gross of the Astros making an appearance at 325. Hank Aaron, 62 round trippers, but he did not lead the RBIs. Billy Williams, 6 better than Aaron over there, but we'll get back to that in a second. So Aaron, 12 homers over runner-up Dick Allen. Billy Williams, 49. Johnny Bench, 48. Willie Stargell, 45. RBI leader, sweet swinging Billy Williams, 172. Hank Aaron, 166. Dick Allen, 137. Stargell, 136. Tony Perez, 132. Lots of runs being knocked in here. AL pitching, we've got Vida Blue, True Blue, 214, and also the victory leader with 22. Roger Nelson, pretty consistently up here in the top 5. He's got a 2.29 for the Pale Hose. Mickey Lolich, third, 234. Jim Cott and Marty Patton. Blue, 22 victories, 2 better than Al Morris, Bill Lee. And we have Wilbur Wood with 19, Mickey Lolich with 18. Saves, Mudcat Grant, 46, followed by Kenny Sanders, Mike Garman, Sparky Lyle, and Terry Forster. NL pitching, Don Wilson, 216, and 20 victories, leading both categories. Runner-up in ERA is Jim Barr of the Giants, 260, Mike Cuellar of the Reds, Ray Culp of the Phillies, and Juan Marichal of the Giants. Wins, after Wilson, we have Steve Blass of the Pirates, Dick Bosman, also of the Pirates, Gaylord Perry of the Giants, Phil Niekro on the Braves. Elias Sosa, 50 saves for the Giants, leading the way over Ramon Hernandez, Dave Justy, Tug McGraw, and Dale Murray. Vote getters, MVP, Carlton Fisk, over Mike Epstein, Boog Powell, Reggie Smith, Darrell Evans. AL Cy Young, we've got Vida Blue, 20 better than Bill Spaceman Lee, Jim Nash, Al Fitzmaurice, Mickey Lolich. NL MVP, we've got Billy Williams, only 6 better than Hank Aaron. And then we have Willie Stargell, Dick Allen, and Tony Perez. NL Cy Young is Don Wilson, Dick Bosman, Steve Blass, Gaylord Perry, Juan Marichal. Let's look at our special event report for Season 6. And while we're doing that, I pulled up the baseball reference page for Mike McQueen. He's a left-hander, and he pitched in 5 major league seasons, primarily for Atlanta. Came up as an 18-year-old with Atlanta, 1 game in 1969, and he was 1-5 with a 5.59 ERA. 1970, 71, he was 4-1 with a 3.54. And 72 for the Braves, he was 0-5 with a 4.6. Never more than, let's see, his innings high was 78 in 1972. Oh, and then he came back in 74, pitching with Cincinnati, 5.40 ERA and 10 relief appearances. So I'm going to say that was probably the 1971 version of Mike McQueen with his 4-1 and 3.54. And he had decent numbers, but nothing spectacular. 2.5 whip, that 1.25 whip. 56 innings, 38 Ks in 1971 for Atlanta. So there you go, Mike McQueen. Alrighty, take a look at our special events here. Scroll down a bit. Triple plays. Only 8 this year, looks like. Ooh, a lot of 3-homer games. Let's see if we can rattle all these off quickly. That's a lot. Larry Hissel, Tony Canigliaro, Pop Stargell, Bob Watson, Bill Melton, Greg Nettles, Dick Allen, Williams, Atlanta, probably Earl Williams, Big Dave Winfield, Johnson, 71 Yankees, Darren Johnson, Nate Colbert, Reggie Jackson, Billy Williams, Willie Montanez, all 3 homer games, no 4 homer games, so we're going to continue on. 6 hit games, we have Robin Yount, Glenn Beckert. Runs scored, stolen bases. Okay, we're running a little more here. Good to see. Guys you would expect here: Morgan, Brock, Lintz, Cycles. 7 of them. 5 inside the park homers. Strikeouts. Let's see if we have anything up in the. There's a 17. We'll take a look at that for Seaver. There it is. Seaver 17 Ks against Atlanta. The Mets lost the game. You can see the Mets lineup, not so hot. Probably Cranepool homered though. And the Braves had homers from Gar and Carty. 10 innings, 17 Ks for Seaver, but they, 2 in the 11th apparently. Okay. Strikeouts for the Braves: Aaron 3, Earl Williams 3, Baker 3, Gaston 3. Okay. I mean, that's a dozen right there. Let's look at the scorecard. A lot of SOs here. We had in the 11th, Ron Hunt led off with a double, Ralph Garr a homer, and Seaver lost. All right. Now, no hitters. Here we go. More complete game. But Nelson throws the no hitter. Okay. Yeah, 1-0 game. White Sox Rangers. Let's take a look at this one. What we got here? Oh, in the scorecard. No hitter in the record books. Oh, no walks. But 28 batters faced. Okay. Yeah, the White Sox committed an error. Okay. So, Rangers lineup: Randall, Hargrove, Madlock, Burrows. Top 4 is pretty good. Bottom 5, not the worst I've seen, but not great, really. With apologies to some of these guys. I'm not saying they're awful, but it's just not a super duper lineup. And the White Sox, what did they do? May knocked in the only run. Carlos May. Moore falls to 1-13. Tough loss. Gave up 1 run. There's Nelson's line. And we're just looking here. scorecard. Let's see. There it is. Lenny Randall reached on an error by the shortstop. Stole a base. And that was it. All right. Well, congratulations to Roger Nelson there. As we will move on to Season 7. All right, let's get to Season 7 here. Take a look at the win total. And it looks like the Athletics are the winner for Season 7. So let's do a quick update of our overall standings. We've got the Red Sox with 2 points. The Athletics and the Giants now have 1.5 apiece. And the Braves and Twins have 1. So that would be 7. Okay. All right, American League East. Orioles 5 games better than the Yankees. Pretty good run differential by the O's. Boston 7 back. Detroit just over 500. The Brew Crew down to 102 losses, so they're actually improving here over the last few season replays, but they did end the season on a 1-9 skid. The A's 106 wins, edging Minnesota, who also had 100 victories. Both teams, looking at the run differential, excellent. White Sox 92 wins, just not enough in this division. The Angels coming in at 500, and the bottom 2 teams really struggling, especially Kansas City. Go to the National League East. Got the Phillies by 2 over the Pirates. Mets just barely over 500. Cardinals disappointing, 75 and 87. Cubs still struggling to get to 500 here. And the Expos, unfortunately, the expected 100 loss mark there again, 112. And the Padres, 38 and 124. That is pretty miserable here. We've got the Giants by 2 games over the Braves, 3 over the Dodgers, 5 over the Reds, and the 5th place Astros got 89 victories. A lot of these came at the expense of San Diego, obviously. Stellar run differential throughout the top 4 in the division here. Take a look at the batting leaders. Season 7, we've got Rod Carew with yet another batting title at 355. We have Glenn Beckert, second at 349 for the Red Sox. Bobby Mercer, Al Bumbry, and George Orda, 325 for the White Sox. Home runs, Harmon Killebrew, 41 big flies. 2 better than Darrell Evans of the A's. Then we have Mike Epstein, Boog Powell of the Orioles, tied with 38, and Reggie Jackson, 36. RBI leader, Reggie Smith for the Twins. Then we have Powell, Epstein, Killebrew, and Mercer. NL batting, we have Pete Rose, 374. Rico Cardi, 361. Billy Williams of the Cubs, 339. Rusty Staub of the Astros, 332. And Ralph Garr, 328. Home runs and RBIs, the Hammer, Hank Aaron, 60 and 173. Pretty incredible. Billy Williams next with 47 and 147. Willie Stargell third in both categories, 44 and 131. And we have Earl C. Williams for the Braves at 44. Johnny Bench, 39. And rounding out the RBIs, we've got Tony Perez and Rico Cardi. American League pitching, Vida Blue, 2.14, 26 victories. Mickey Lolich next in ERA at 2.18. Wilbur Wood, 2.19. Fred Bean, Roger Nelson. In wins, as we stated, Vida Blue. Then we have Wilbur Wood with 24. Roger Nelson, 23. Mickey Lolich, 22. Al Downing of the Yankees with 20. Saves, Ken Sanders, 49. Better than Terry Forster, John Hiller, Tom A. Murphy, and Sparky Lyle. National League pitching leaders, we have Jack Billingham of the Dodgers, 2.45, just a couple ticks better than Gaylord Perry, Don Sutton, Phil Niekro, and here's an appearance by Steve Renko of the Mets, 2.77. Wins, we have Bill Singer and Don Sutton, teammates, tied with 21. And then we have a couple, we got three Braves in a row. Phil Niekro, Carl Morton, Ron Reed. Save leaders in the NL, Elias Sosa, 42. 3 better than Mike Marshall and Stan Williams. And we've got Ron Paranowski and Orlando Pena rounding out the top 5. Top vote getters, AL MVP goes to Reggie Smith by 3 votes over Boog Powell. Bobby Mercer next. Harmon Killebrew, Mike Epstein. AL Cy Young, we have Vida Blue, ahead of Wilbur Wood, Roger Nelson, Mickey Lolich, Fred Bean. NL MVP, Hank Aaron. What has he got? About 38 more than Willie Stargell, Cesar Cedeno, Billy Williams, Tony Perez. NL Cy Young, Don Sutton, Bill Singer, Phil Niekro, Ron Reed, Carl Morton. Okay, let's look at Season 7's. Let's go here. Season 7 special events. So clearly this is going to be a dogfight here. Nobody wants to run away with it. Got what was it? At least 5 teams with a half point in the totals, and the Red Sox lead the way with 2. So unless somebody can pull ahead in these last 3 seasons, we might go into extra innings. But definitely some fluctuation in the standings. There's clearly, the 4 expansion teams are struggling. And it seems like almost every other team has been in the mix at one point or another. Alrighty, what do we got here? Triple plays, 7 triple plays. There. Not too many 3-homer games. Who do we got? Billy Williams, Norm Cash, Jay Johnstone. That's a little bit of a surprise there. Rick Monday, Andy Etchebarren, also a bit of a surprise. And Dave Concepcion, that's really a surprise. 3 round trippers, so that was a 20-5 game. All right, we've got 4 guys with 6 hits. Stolen bases, number of guys with 3 steals. There's Larry Lintz with 4. 5 guys hitting for the cycle. 6 inside the park homers. Strikeout games, 13s. There's a 15 from Bob Gibson. Ryan with 14. Three no-hitters in season 7. Okay, Friesleben, Blue, and Don Wilson. All right, let's take a look here. A no-no for Dave Friesleben. San Diego. Oh, that was one of their 38 victories, apparently. 11 Ks and 6 walks. You know what? I think they'll take it. Yeah, look at that. He worked around Dick Allen. 3 walks, no at-bats. Nice. I mean, that's a legit no-hitter. Looking at that lineup from top to bottom, pretty good here. Padres offense, we had Thomason with 3 hits, Dave Winfield and Bob Tillman with an RBI, and that was it, 2-0. Rick Wise, tough luck loser here, 8 innings, 1 earned. And there's Dave Friesleben, 9 innings, 6 walks, 11 Ks, and no hits. All right, congrats. Vida Blue, one of his 26 victories on the season. So the A's offense, again, low scoring game. Darrell Evans with an RBI. Ellie Rodriguez with an RBI. Not a whole lot going on there. Royals, a lot of fill-ins here. Not a great lineup. Not good at all, really. The only original Royals in the lineup, we have George Brett, Jim Wolford, Al Cowens, and that's it. Vida Blue, 1 walk, 13 Ks. Willoughby pitched well in the loss. And the 1 walk was Wolford, preventing a perfect game there. All right, let's look at Don Wilson here. 9 innings, 5 walks, only 2 Ks. And another low run game. Rusty Staub, RBI. Cedeno 3 hits. And I'd say that's a fairly good lineup for the Giants here. Nothing wrong with that lineup. Number of walks there. And there it is, Wilson. 9 innings, no hits. Okay, there you go. 3 no-nos in season 7. All right, let's move ahead. Season number 8. Coming in hot. We have Boston with another point. That gives them 3. Puts them right on the edge of uh, claiming a victory here. They had, let's see, yep, okay. So again, the 2 teams in the East. Nice run differential. Red Sox edging the Orioles by 5 games. Tigers with 86 wins, and the rest of them sub 500. We've got the A's by a single game over the White Sox in the American League West. Twins with 90 victories, and everybody else sub 500 here. NL, Pirates by 2 over the Phillies. Mets 4.5 back. Cardinals 5 back. Expos 116 losses. And that's the worst in this particular replay by 1 loss. Well, the Padres just eked out 1 more win than the Expos, basically. Over in the NL West, 1 game separating the Reds and the Astros. Dodgers 2 back. Giants and Braves all in the mix here. But the Reds claim the division, season 8. All right, batting leaders, American League, Rod Carew, 364. I haven't been keeping an official count, but that's either 5 or 6 batting titles for Carew, I think, in this replay. But again, that's unofficial. I haven't been tallying that. Let's see, Al Bumbry, second, 345. Amos Otis of the Red Sox coming in 325. Teammate Yastrzemski. And Joe Pepitone makes an appearance here, 316 average for the Yanks. We've got Reggie Jackson leading the home run race with 44, 5 better than Bill Melton of the White Sox. Then we have Darrell Evans, Mike Epstein, and Harmon Killebrew. Killebrew took the RBI crown with 139, 9 better than Boog Powell. Then we have Epstein, Evans, and Reggie Smith. Over to the senior circuit, we've got Pete Rose, 354, another batting title for Charlie Hustle here. Same as last season, Rico Cardi second, 344, tied with his teammate Joe Torre. There's Alex Johnson of the Phillies, 324, and Cesar Cedeno, 322. Homer and RBI race, no surprise. Hank Aaron, 49 and 158. Earl Williams, though, second with 44 swats. Johnny Bench, 41. Dick Allen, Willie Stargell. Over here in the RBI column, after Aaron, we have Stargell, Jim Hickman of the Cardinals making an appearance. John Mabry Sr. and Tony Perez. AL pitching leaders, Jim Palmer, 2.31, tied with Roger Nelson. Rudy May, 237, Mickey Lolich, and Catfish Hunter. Palmer leading the way with 22 victories. A couple 20-game winners here, Catfish Hunter and Jim Lonborg. Then we have Vita Blue, Roger Nelson. Save leader, John Hiller with 45. 3 ahead of Terry Forster, Mudcat Grant. Mike Garman of the Red Sox picks up 41 saves. And Ken Sanders with 40. NL pitching, we have Don Nelson, 2.17 ERA. Don Sutton, Gaylord Perry, Jim Colborn of the Cubs. I think that's his first time on the board. And Tom Seaver at 2.39. Wins, we have Gaylord Perry with 20, followed by Seaver, Bill Singer of the Dodgers, Clay Kirby of the Cardinals, and Don Sutton. Save leaderboard, Stan Williams of the Dodgers, 44, ahead of Tug McGraw, Elias Sosa, Dave Justy, Mike G. Marshall. Top vote getters, Reggie Jackson by 2 votes over Boog Powell, Darrell Evans, Harmon Killebrew, Reggie Smith. AL Cy Young goes to Jim Palmer by 20 votes over Jim Lonborg. Then we had Catfish Hunter, Roger Nelson, and Bill Lee. NL MVP, goes to Hank Aaron over Hop Stargell, Jim Hickman third, Dick Allen, Billy Williams. And NL Cy Young goes to Gaylord Perry by 30 votes over Tom Seaver, Bill Singer, Clay Kirby, Don Sutton. Okay. Go to Season 8 special events here. So Boston is on the cup of clinching the title for the Hardball Retro Originals 1970 through 74 replays. But there are many contenders that could keep this thing going if Boston can't do it in the next 2 seasons. So remains to be seen how this plays out. All right, here we go. Scoot on down here. Triple plays, 7 of them. Home runs, we've got Reggie, Rich Hebner, Mike Epstein, Bill Melton, 4-homer game. We're going to have to take a look there. Willie Horton, Joe Rudy, Dunn of the Royals, fill in with 3 homers. Ron Dunn, and and Sal Bando with 3. So let's take a look at Melton's box score here. Bill Melton led the offense for Chicago, going 5 for 6 with 4 homers and 8 RBIs. There it is. That's a super line there. Brought him up to 20 homers on the year. And I wonder if he got one in the 11th here. Take a look at the scorecard. I want to see who this was against. He was facing a lot of fill-ins. But these fill-ins were pretty decent pitchers, I would say. Demery, Kelly, and Carithers. So he did hit that one in extra innings. But let's look at the scorecard anyway. Melton singled in the second, homered in the third, homered in the fifth, homer in the eighth, whiff in the ninth, going for number 4, but they went to extras and he got it against Don Carithers. So again, you can hover over these and see who we hit them off of, right? That's pretty cool. All right, let's keep going here. Hits in a game. 2 guys with 6 hits. Here's a 7-hit game by Dave W. Roberts. 16 inning game, but still 7 hits is 7 hits, right? That's a great day at the park. Steals. A bunch of 3-steal games. 3 cycles here. And 6 inside the park homers. Strikeouts, we got 15 from Dave Friesleben. 15 from Carlton. Oh, 3 no-hitters. Parsons. Perry again. Okay, let's dive in here. Again, one of the few highlights for the Brewers. Let's go to game summary first. Historical night for Bill Parsons. 5 walks, 7 strikeouts, 9 innings. And the Brewers helped him offensively. A lot of fill-ins for the Brew Crew, but Bob Colocchio, 2 hits and a ribby. Pepe Frias knocked in a run. Charlie Moore scored both runs here, leading off. And for the Rangers, no fill-ins. I think we've mentioned this before. Top 4 in the batting order, pretty good. Bottom 5, pretty average. Parsons gets the no-no, 5 walks, 7 Ks. So congrats to Bill Parsons for getting a mention here. Now, Gaylord Perry, 2 no-hitters. First one against the Phillies here. Let's look at the summary. Seven strikeouts, 2 walks. Did give up a run there. A couple of walks, Allen and Schmidt. There's his line. No hits, but one earned run. 2 walks, 7 Ks. Was curious to see how that run scored. Right in the first inning, so we had a runner reaching on an error. They made a fielder's choice. A walk. And a walk. Fielder's choice, run. Okay. Got it. And then the rest of the way after the first inning, he was just basically hanging the Phillies out to dry there. So, all right, so that was that one. Let's look at the Giants 1, Mets 0 here. Nine innings, 3 strikeouts, 4 walks. And the Mets, again, no fill-ins. Gotta say, a fairly mediocre lineup, though. It's not awful, but it's not really gonna put up much of a battle against a guy like Perry. Seaver, tough luck loss with 8 innings of 1-run ball, 7 Ks. The only offense for the Giants, Gary Maddox, RBI, knocking in Tony Taylor, who had apparently tripled right before that. And there's Perry's line. He improves to 14-4 with that no-hitter. All right, so we've got 8 in the books. Let's go on to season number 9. The White Sox getting the win here. So, yeah, okay. So we're through 9 seasons. The White Sox get a point. Red Sox are still ahead 3 points. But that makes that's another first-time winner there. Keeping things interesting. So the current leaderboard after 9 seasons is Red Sox with 3 points. Athletics and Giants, 1.5. And 1 point each for the White Sox, the Twins, and the Braves. I think I got that right. Yeah, so a lot of teams in the mix here. All right, American League East, Orioles, a couple games better than the Tigers, 3 better than Boston. The Tigers with the negative run differential, but finishing second there. That's curious. Yankees also similar, but finishing only 7 back. So pretty good stuff there. White Sox, 1 game better than Oakland. Twins, 93 victories, not enough to win this particular division. Everybody else sub 500. NL East, we got the Pirates, 5.5 better than the Mets. Cardinals, and look at the Cubbies getting in there, 86 and 75. The Phillies, a disappointing 19 back here. Over in the NL West, we've got the Giants by 4 over the Reds. Dodgers in 3rd, Braves in 4th. Padres again, 124 losses. Yikes. Season 9, Carew, another batting title. 373. 51 points better than the runner-up, Merv Rettenmund of the Orioles. We have Mike Hargrove, 313 for the Rangers. Don Buford of the White Sox, 311. And Carlos May, his teammate, at 310. Here's the White Sox again. How did the White Sox get 101 wins? Well, Bill Melton knocked 50 out of the park. Killebrew with 43. Mike Epstein, 42. Tony Conigliaro, 41. And Willie Horton, 34. Might be our first Willie Horton sighting. Mike Epstein, 150 RBIs. Bill Melton, Killebrew, Fisk, Evans. All right. The race for the batting title goes to Pete Rose Sr., the 370. Ralph Garr, batting at a 352 clip, is the runner-up, followed by teammates Joe Torre and Rico Cardi, and then fifth place, Greg Gross of the Astros at 342. Home run and RBI leaders, Hank Aaron with 59 and 184 ribbies, which is more than 50 better than second place Billy Williams. Back looking at home runs, Johnny Bench with 50. Teammate Tony Perez with 43. Dick Allen with 40. Willie Stargell with 40. A lot of offense here. As I mentioned, Billy Williams second in ribbies. Johnny Bench, Jim Hickman, Cesar Cedeno. AL pitching, Vida Blue once again, taking the ERA crown at 2.24. And most victories on the year with 25. Red Bean second for the Orioles, 2.29. Roger Nelson, same. Bill Gogolewski of the Rangers, 2.42. And Andy Messersmith, 253 for the Angels. Wins, as I mentioned, Blue with 25, and we have Roger Nelson. There's a Mel Stottlemyre sighting, 21 wins. Gogolewski and Fritz Peterson with 19. Saves, Ken Sanders of the A's, 46, followed by John Hiller, Sparky Lyle, Mudcat Grant, and Terry Forster. NL ERA leaders, Don Sutton, 208, also the win leader with 22. Tom Seaver, 247. Buzz Capra of the Mets, also. Steve Rogers, Gaylord Perry. In the wins, we've got Sutton, Perry, Fergie Jenkins, Claude Osteen of the Reds, Jim Colborn of the Cubs. Saves, got a tie at the top. Ramon Hernandez of the Pirates, Tug McGraw of the Mets, 47 each, followed by Lindy McDaniel, 46 for the Cardinals, Stan Williams, 45 for the Dodgers, and Ron Peranowski, 42 for the Cubbies. Top vote getters. MVP, we've got Bill Melton taking home the MVP honors in the American League. 373 votes. Mike Epstein, Harmon Killebrew, Carlton Fisk, Darrell Evans. And AL Cy Young, we've got Vida Blue, Roger Nelson, Mel Stottlemyre, Fred Bean, Bill Gogolewski. NL MVP, Hank Aaron, no question there, 444 votes. Cesar Cedeno, runner-up, followed by Willie McCovey, Jim Hickman, Willie Stargell. NL Cy Young goes to Don Sutton over Gaylord Perry, Claude Osteen, Jim Colborn, Fergie Jenkins. All right. And let's look at our special events here. So we've got the White Sox in the mix, making things really interesting. We will go beyond 10 seasons if needed. The winner must have collected 4 points. So the Red Sox are right on the cusp, but they would need to pull off a victory in season 10 to secure that. Otherwise, we'll keep going until we can crown a winner. Okay. Lot of triple plays here. That's looking like it's up in the 15 range, somewhere about there. 3 homer games: Hank Aaron, Willie Horton, Johnny Bench, Harmon Killebrew, Earl Williams, Johnny Bench, Carlos May, Dick Dietz with a 4 homer game. We'll take a look at that box score. And Roger Repaz of the Yankees. 3 round trippers in 1 game. Dick Dietz did the deed 4 times, so we'll look at that. And John D'Acquisto got the win. And Dick Dietz, 5 for 6, 4 homers, 8 RBIs. Hitting third for the Giants here. That's one of those when you wake up and you look at the box score, especially for folks who play fantasy baseball. That's one of those like, I think my team's moving up in the standings today. Now, does anyone get a newspaper and look in box scores anymore? I don't know. Personally, I love doing that, but I now just go online and check the numbers. But I used to pore over the box scores every morning, and was not a fan of the old, the West Coast games being, not in the next day's paper here on the East Coast. So, so Jim Merritt got destroyed in this game. 2 2/3, 10 earned. Gave up 3 of the home runs, and Doyle Alexander gave up the other one. Let's look at the scorecard. We have Homer, 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 Homer. He did it by the fourth inning. Wow, that's pretty incredible. And he had a grounded into a double play, going for 5 homers, and he singled in the 9th. That is crazy. 4 straight. Wow. All right, that's cool. Let's keep going here. 3 6-hit games, twice by Renton Mund. So that's cool. Good for him. Larry Lintz gets another mention with a 4-steal game there. He's just running wild in this thing. Cycles. 4 cycles. 6 in the park homers. K games. 14. 15 by Seaver. 16 by Seaver. No-nos. Demery, fill-in for the Rangers, throws a no-hitter against the Royals. And we have Jim Palmer, no-hitter here. Take a look. Go back to game summary. Demery's electric stuff and pinpoint command. No hits, 2 strikeouts, and 1 walk. All right, we had a little bit of offense here. Hargrove Homer, 2 RBIs, 2 hits. Jim Mason, 3 hits. Larry Bittner, 3 hits. For the Royals, their only offense was a walk by Phil Lynn and number 9 hitter Chris Arnold. And that was it. There's Demery's line. Pretty sweet. So congrats to Larry Demery. Oh, the Orioles with 11 in the first here. Oh my goodness. They beat up on somebody. Epstein, 2 homer game. Coggins homer. Rich homered. Epstein just went off in this thing. Coggins, 4 RBIs. Bunbury, 3 hits. And the Royals had 3 walks here. Bottom of the order, all fill-in guys. Palmer, 9 innings, 3 walks, 8 strikeouts. Steve Busby was pitching well before that because even that 11 earned runs in 1 2/3 only bumped his ERA to 5.3, so that's unfortunate for him. All right, let's take a look at season number 10. All right, let's crack open season number 10 here. Currently have the Red Sox with 3 points. We have the Athletics and the Giants with 1.5 points. We've got the Twins with 1 point. Who am I missing here? The Braves with 1 point. So, see if that adds up. 3, 3, 2. What am I missing here? Oh, and the White Sox. Forgot about the White Sox. Okay. So, yeah, let's see if the Red Sox take it. And they do not. We've got 1, 2, 3 teams with 101 victories. Wow. Okay. Orioles, Twins, and A's, season 10. So that means that each of those teams get a half point. So now the A's have 2, the Twins have 1.5, and the Orioles have a half point. And the Red Sox are still our leaders with 3, but we will be going to extra innings here to determine the winner. Okay, so in the American League East, Baltimore, 101 victories, 7 better than the Red Sox. Yankees at 87 wins, and everybody else below 500 in the East. Take a look at the West. We have the Twins and the A's tied with 101 victories, both over 200 runs in the run differential column. White Sox and Angels above 500. The Royals with 117 losses. Over in the NL East, we have the Cardinals by a half game over the Mets, 3 games over the Pirates. The rest of the clubs are sub 500. And the National League West, we've got the Giants with 99 wins, 1 game better than the Braves. The Dodgers finished 6 back. And we have the Reds and the Astros all above 500. And the Padres with 116 losses. So we will continue on here. Season 10 batting leaders, Rod Carew. Yet another batting title, it's 363. Amos Otis of the Red Sox, 334, followed by Al Bumbry, Glenn Beckert, also of the Red Sox, and Louis Aparicio, White Sox, 331. Might be the first time we called his name here. Home run leaders, Boog Powell, 49, Carl Yastrzemski, 43, Mike Epstein, Harmon Killebrew, 41 apiece, and Darren Johnson of the Yankees, 37. Boog Powell, the RBI leader at 145, followed by Killebrew, Reggie Smith, Tony Oliva, Darren Johnson. Over in the National League, the Roadrunner, Ralph Garr, 370 batting average, takes the batting crown over teammates Rico Carty and Joe Torre. Pete Rose finishes 4th at 329, Billy Williams 5th at 327. Home run leader, Dick Allen with 50 for the Fightin' Phils, followed by Hank Aaron, Willie Stargell, Jimmy Wynn, Nate Colbert. RBI lead goes to Tony Perez with 148, Hank Aaron second with 134, followed by Willie Stargell, Dick Allen, Billy Williams. AL pitching, Roger Nelson, 2.03 for the White Sox, ERA title. Raleigh Fingers, 211 for the A's, so relatively certain he was in relief, but back in the day the relievers threw a lot of innings, so I guess he met the requirements there. Vita Blue third, 2.38 for Blyleven, and Catfish Hunter. We have 5 pitchers with 20 wins: Blue, Blyleven, Hunter, Nelson, Wilbur Wood. Mudcat Grant of the Indians, 43 saves, followed by Mike Garman of the Red Sox. Ken Sanders of the A's, both with 37. Sparky Lyle, 36. Tom A. Murphy of the Angels, 36. NL pitching leaders, Buzz Capra of the Mets, 2.08. Rick Rushell of the Cubs, 247. Dave A. Roberts of the Phillies, 2.63. Gaylord Perry, 267. And Wayne Twitchell of the Astros, 274. Win leader is Gaylord Perry with 22, followed by Don Sutton, Bob Gibson, Phil Niekro, Gary Nolan. Save leader, Lindy McDaniel of the Cardinals with 47, followed by Clay Carroll, Tug McGraw, Elias Sosa, Dave Justy. Top vote getters, AL MVP race, Boog Powell, well ahead of Carl Yastrzemski, Reggie Smith, Harmon Killebrew, and Roy White. AL Cy Young goes to Bert Blyleven by 5 votes over Roger Nelson, Vita Blue, Catfish Hunter, and Dick Woodson of the Twins finishing 5th. That's the first time we heard his name, I believe. NL MVP goes to Tony Perez by 3 votes over Willie Stargell. Third place goes to Dick Allen. Hank Aaron 4th. Cesar Cedeno 5th. NL Cy Young, Gaylord Perry by 30 votes over Don Sutton. And we had Phil Necro, Bob Gibson, and Gary Nolan. Let's look at our special events for season 10. It looks like nobody wants to assert themselves here, and we will decide this particular half-decade replay in extra innings. So we now have the current point standings after 10 seasons is Red Sox 3, Athletics 2, Giants 1.5, Twins 1.5. We have the Braves with 1, and the White Sox with a 1, and the Orioles with a half point. If you're adding that up and it sounds like it's more than 10, well, I didn't want to get into like assigning like 0.33 or a third of a point basically for that three-way tie. So everybody got a half point there. All right, let's scroll down here. My replay, my rules, right? Triple plays, 8 of them. Ooh, a lot of 3-homer games. Henderson of the Giants. I'm going to go with Ken Henderson there, I believe. Dick Dietz, Charlie Spikes, Willie Horton, Boog Powell, Jeff Burrows, Ken Singleton, Dick Allen, Bob Robertson, Willie Stargell, Sal Bando, all with 3 bombs in one game. 5 guys with 6 hits in a game. Skip past the RBIs, runs scored, steals. Not too many 3 stolen base games. Skip past errors. 5 guys hit for the cycle. 6, 7 guys with inside the Parkers. Strikeout events, we've got, let's see, 14, 14, 14, 12. Yeah, nobody over 14, it looks like. And no hitters, so that's gonna put a wrap on season 10. Bail out of that. Okay, moving on to season 11. Let's see what we got here. We have, Boston with 102, but that's not enough to overcome the Giants with 104. So we will continue on. That is going to give the Giants, what does that give them? The Giants have 2.5 points now. So they're creeping up on the 4-point mark, but we are not there yet. So let's take a look at the standings here. Boston 102 victories. 15 better than the Orioles. The Indians, one game over 500. The Yankees at 500. The Tigers just below 500, and the Brew Crew with 118 losses. Let's see. In the West, we have the A's over the White Sox by 4 games. Twins 11 back, and the Angels above 500. Over in the National League East, Pirates by 9 over the Phillies, and the Cubbies with a 500 season, a little bit over 500. Expos with 121 losses. Ouch. Giants 104 victories, 11 better than the Reds. 286 run differential. Is that the? Yep, that's the highest for season 11. Braves and Astros 90 victories apiece. Dodgers 87, and the Padres 108 losses. No surprise here. Rod Carew 352 average, leading the way. There's Aparicio again. All right. 339 clip. And Glenn Beckert, Del Unser of the Rangers, Tony Oliva. Let's see here. Canigliaro, Tony C. 47 jacks. 4 better than Reggie Jackson. And then he's got his teammate Darrell Evans there with 41. Carl Yastrzemski 41, and Bill Melton with 34. RBI leaders, Tony Canigliaro, 130, 5 better than Harmon Killebrew. Bill Melton third with 119. Then we have Darrell Evans and Tony Oliva. National League batting leaders. We have Pete Rose taking the batting title at 351. 5 points better than Rico Cardi. Followed by Billy Williams, Rusty Staub of the Astros, and Ralph Garr of the Braves. Johnny Bench, 57 round trippers. 1 better than Hank Aaron. Willie Stargell with 53. Jim Wynn, the toy cannon, 45. And Dick Allen, 43. RBI leaders, Hank Aaron, 169. Willie Stargell, Jimmy Wynn, Johnny Bench, Willie McCovey. AL pitching, Vida True Blue with a 2.22. Bert Blyleven, 232, finishing runner-up. Fritz Peterson of the Yankees, Jim Willoughby, fill-in for the Royals, and Jim Rooker, 2.58 for the Tigers. Vida Blue, most victories with 22, so a lot of twos here. Not sure what the significance is, but he's putting up all twos here. Al Fitzmaurice, White Sox, 21. Roger Nelson, White Sox, 21 wins. Wilbur Wood, Red Sox with 20. Bill Spaceman Lee for the Red Sox also, 18 wins. Saves, we got Ken Sanders with 43, followed by Tom Murphy, Mudcat Grant, Mike Garman, Bill Campbell. In the National League, Tom Seaver, 211, taking the ERA crown over Bill Singer of the Dodgers, John Matlack of the Mets, Gaylord Perry of the Giants, and Jim Barr of the Giants. Wins leaders, we've got 3 with 20, Dick Bosman of the Pirates, Gaylord Perry, Don Sutton, Jim Barr, and Steve Blass with 18. Save leaders, Ramon Hernandez, 43 for the Pirates, Tug McGraw, Ron Peronowski, Stan Williams, Lindy McDaniel round out the top 5. Leading vote getters for the MVP and Cy Young Awards. Over in the American League, we have Carl Yastrzemski claiming MVP honors, 347 votes. Reggie Jackson, runner-up. Darrell Evans, Tony Canigliaro, Rico Petrocelli. AL Cy Young, we've got Vida Blue, Al Fitzmaurice, Roger Nelson, Wilbur Wood, Fritz Peterson. National League MVP race goes to Hank Aaron, 418 votes. Willie Stargell next, Johnny Bench, Willie McCovey, Joe Morgan. NL Cy Young, Gaylord Perry, Dick Bosman, Don Sutton, Jim Barr, Steve Blass. Let's look at our special events. We've got an epic battle for the overall series winner here in the 1970 through 74 Hardball Retro Originals League. But nobody wants to step forward and take the crown, apparently. So we'll keep moving on until somebody gets to 4 points. Alrighty, scroll down a bit. Double plays, triple plays. Looks like about 10 triple plays. 3 homer games. Deron Johnson, Hank Aaron, Reggie Smith, Mike Schmidt, Hank Aaron, Bob Watson, and Reggie Jackson with 4 homers. So 16-1 contest versus the Rangers. Let's take a look. Okay. Oh, he's hitting leadoff for the A's in this one. So 4 for 6, 5 RBI, 4 homers. They came against, well, the Rangers gave up 8 in the game, so Robertson, Carithers, and Demery, all fill-ins. So the Rangers were definitely struggling to fill out their 40-man roster here. Scorecard. Let's just take a look here. So he led off the game with a strikeout. He grounded out to shortstop. And then homer in the 4th, homer in the 6th. Let's see. It'll tell us who served it up here. Rich P. Robertson served up the first one. Don Carithers. Larry Demery. And Larry Demery, right? All right. 4 homer game for Reggie. 6 hits in the game, 4 players did that. Stolen bases, Davey Lopes, 4 bags in a game once. We're not going to click in there, but looks like we got about 10 inside the park homers. Did I skip over it? No cycles, looks like. All right. Strikeouts, Nolan Ryan with 15. No. skip those. No, actually, complete games. That means there were no hitters here. So let's bail out of season 11 and move on to season 12. See if we're able to crown a champion here. The Red Sox are on the cusp with 3 points. So if they didn't win, we keep playing. They did not win. Baltimore takes the American League East here. 100, 103. White Sox and A's tied. Yep, season 12. White Sox and A's with 103. So let's just take a look at our standings now. That means we now have Red Sox 3, Giants 2.5, A's 2.5, Twins 1.5, White Sox 1.5, Braves 1, Orioles half point. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody on the list there, but that's through 12 seasons, so we're still cooking here. Orioles, 8 games over the Yankees. Red Sox finished 12 back. Everybody else sub 500. In the American League West, we have the White Sox and A's tied with 103 wins and the same exact run differential. That's pretty crazy. The White Sox losing their last 2 games to, and the A's winning their last 2 to force a tie there. But Twins with 93 wins, everybody else below 500. Over in the National League, we've got the Pirates 10 better than the Cardinals, 10.5 up on the Cubs, and 11 ahead of the Phillies. The Expos 117 loss season there. We've got the Astros in the NL West, 98 wins, 1 better than the Reds, 2 better than the Giants, and 6 up on the Dodgers. Braves also finish above 500, and the Padres are in the basement once again. Oh, there's Rod Carew again, 357 batting average, another batting title. He's going to need to put an addition on his home to fit all those trophies, I think. Glenn Beckert, runner-up, 334. We have Rick Monday. I don't recall saying his name yet, so 332 for Monday. Mike Hargrove, 331. Joe Pepitone, 330. We've got Tony Canigliaro, 47 circuit clouts. 1 better than Darren Johnson. We've got Harmon Killebrew, Sal Bando, and Reggie Jackson. So Bill Melton, 1 RBI better than Tony C. Then we've got Killebrew, Reggie Smith, Mike Epstein. NL batting leaders. Rusty Staub takes the batting title at 360. 6 points better than Ralph Garr. Then we have Pete Rose, Rico Carty, Wes Parker of the Dodgers. Might be the first time we mentioned Wes Parker. So 324 average gets him into the top 5. Hank Aaron leading the way with 52 homers, 147 RBI. Willie Stargell next on both lists, 46 and 146. Wrapping up the home run leaderboards, we have Johnny Bench, Nate Colbert, and Jim Hickman. And the RBIs, we have Willie McCovey, John Mabry Sr. of the Astros, and Tony Perez. AL pitching leaders, we have Roger Nelson, Dick Woodson, Jim Palmer, Vita Blue, and Raleigh Fingers. Win leaders, Vita Blue with 26 victories, 2 better than Roger Nelson, Wilbur Wood with 23, Jim Palmer, Fritz Peterson, all 20 wins or better. Sparky Lyle, 44 saves, 1 better than Terry Forster and Mudcat Grant. Tom A. Murphy of the Angels with 42. Ken Sanders of the A's with 41. NL pitching leaders, Don Sutton, 242. A few points better than Steve Blass. Bob Moose of the Pirates also. Larry Durker of the Astros. Clay Kirby of the Cardinals. Wins leaders, Gaylord Perry and Don Sutton tied with 21 apiece. Steve Blass, Jack Bellingham of the Dodgers, and Fergie Jenkins of the Phillies with 18. Mike G. Marshall, 45 saves, 2 better than Lindy McDaniel. Then we have Dave Justy, Ron Peranowski, Stan Williams. Leading vote getters, Reggie Smith takes the American League MVP honors with a 20 vote lead over Tony Conigliaro, Carlton Fisk, Carl Yastrzemski, Darren Johnson. Cy Young goes to Vita Blue over Roger Nelson, Wilbur Wood, Jim Palmer, and Fritz Peterson. NL MVP, Willie Stargell, Hank Aaron, Willie McCovey, Tony Perez, Johnny Bench, and NL Cy Young goes to Gaylord Perry over Don Sutton, Steve Blass, Jack Billingham, and Don Wilson. Okay, go to reports. And now we will look at the special events from Season 12. My expectation with these replays was that 10 seasons would be a reasonable indicator of, uh, you know, someone emerging as the the dominant team or at least consistently better than average teams. So, but this particular one, it looks like nobody really wants to pull away from the pack. Let's scroll down a bit here. I went a little too far. Triple plays, 9 of them looks like. Home runs, we got 7 guys with 3 or more homers. Reggie Jackson with 3. Bill Melton, Tony Conigliaro, Jim Hickman, Johnny Bench, Willie McCovey, Willie Stargell, all with 3 homers in a game. George Scott, the only player to get 6 hits in a game this particular replay. Steals, Lintz with 4 steals. Cycle, 3 guys hitting for the cycle. Two, three, looks like 8 guys with inside the Parkers. High strikeout game. All right, Blyleven with 14. Ryan with 14. That looks like the high there. Oh, and we've got 3 no-hitters. All right, let's delve into these here. Take a look. We've got Jim Cott, Cook of the Yankees, and Broberg of the Rangers. Okay, let's look at Jim Cott here. No hits, no runs, 6 Ks, 4 walks, 9 innings. This is versus the Royals, so a lot of fill-ins here. Not a great lineup. Still a no-hitter, but not as impressive, I would say. George Brett, Jim Walford, Al Cowens. Everybody else is a fill-in. There's your couple walks there. Alvarado, Arnold, Cowens. Counts for your base runners for KC. For the Twins, Carew had 3 hits. Killebrew knocked in a run. Steve Bry, Glenn Borgman, Splittorff for the Royals. He's an original Royal. Fell to 1-6 despite only giving up 2 earned runs in 8 innings. But there's Cott's line. 9 no-hit innings. Improves to 5-1 with a 2.36 ERA. And that was at Metropolitan Stadium. So let's click into this guy. Yankees 3-0 against the Royals. So the Royals no hit twice this year. Similar lineup. Brett, Wolford, Cowens. There's 4 walks. Yankees offense, 3 hits by Thurman Munson. Bobby Mercer went yard. A couple other RBIs there by Darren Johnson. Charlie Spikes. Splittorff again, the hard luck loser. Falling to 2-13. And R. Cook. Let's check the game summary. I think it's Ron. Ron Cook, 1970. Okay. Anyway, so that's his line there. 9 innings, no hits, 4 walks, 3 Ks. At Yankee Stadium. All right. My Angels, no hit by Pete Broberg of the Rangers. Let's check this out. Well, Angels, all original players, no fill-ins. That's a pretty mediocre offense, though, I will say. Not going to call out anybody in particular, but just up and down that lineup, no real superstar players there. No, I don't know about really not many what I would even consider like, star players. These were all decent, uh, guys that at some point in their career played full time. So no knock against them. I'm just saying it's not the best lineup. Rangers. Del Unser, 2 RBIs. No homers in the game. Tom Bradley didn't pitch that well for the Halos. Pete Broberg goes to 13-10. 9 innings, no hits, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts. So that was at Arlington Stadium. So congrats to Cott, Cook, and Broberg. All right, we move on. Season 13. Do we have a winner or do we keep playing? That is the question here. We are still playing because the Red Sox only had 94. Even if that was enough wins, they were tied with the Orioles and they would only get a half point. So that would not have been enough to put them over the edge. Instead, we have Oakland with 105, but that is also not enough because the Giants had 107. So the Giants actually pull ahead of the Red Sox now. The Giants have 3.5 points to Boston's 3. So the Giants are right on the cusp here. Let's take a look here, starting at the top left, American League East. Boston and Baltimore tied at 94. 216 run differential for the Sox, but they were unable to beat Baltimore for the division title. The Indians and the Yankees, 86 wins apiece. Over in the AL West, Athletics, 211 run differential, 105 victories, 16 games up on the White Sox, and 21 up on the Twins. Everybody else below 500. NL East, we have the Mets over the Pirates by 4.5, and everybody else sub 500. And in the West, we have the Giants, cream of the crop here, 10 games better than Houston. Braves with 95 wins, Dodgers with 84, Reds with 83, all above 500. And the team with the most losses this particular season, number 13, Padres with 111. Okay, AL leaders. Oh, got a new batting champion, finally. Al Bumbry at 358, Tony Oliva, 337, Glenn Becker, 330, Carew, 326, Fisk, 323. AL home run crown goes to Harmon Killebrew with 46, Darrell Evans, runner-up with 143, and we have Reggie Jackson, Carl Yastrzemski, and Bobby Mercer. AL RBI leader, Darrell Evans and Bobby Mercer, tied with 140. Harmon Killebrew next with 133, and his teammate Tony Oliva and Sal Bando rounding out the top 5. NL batting, we have Hank Aaron, triple crown for Aaron, 340 average, 63 homers, 176 RBIs. So congratulations to Hammer and Hank. We've got Ralph Garr, runner-up with a 338 batting average, Rusty Staub, Rico Cardi, Pete Rose. Willie Stargell, runner-up in homer and RBIs with 49 and 139. Certainly no slouch at the plate there. Billy Williams, 46 homers. Frank Howard, 44. Dick Allen, 43. And RBIs, we've got third place John Mabry Sr., Willie McCovey with 125 apiece, and Billy Williams, 123. AL pitching leaders, Vida Blue, 202. Roger Nelson, Fred Bean, Catfish Hunter, Pat Dobson. Roger Nelson with 24 wins to take that title. Over Vida Blue with 23. We have Wilbur Wood, Catfish Hunter, Jim Palmer. Save leader this year is Ken Sanders with 47 over Mudcat Grant, John Hiller of the Tigers, Terry Forster, and Tom Buskey. NL pitching, we've got Don Sutton over Gaylord Perry, Bob Gibson, Buzz Capra, Dave Roberts. Gaylord Perry leading the way with 24 victories over Don Sutton, Ken Forsch, Ron Reed, Dave Roberts. Tug McGraw, 46 saves, 4 better than Dave Justy. Then we have Orlando Pena, Elias Sosa, Mike Marshall. Leading vote getters, AL MVP goes to Darrell Evans over Carlton Fisk, Bobby Mercer, Tony Oliva, Carl Yastrzemski. AL Cy Young goes to Roger Nelson over Vita Blue, Wilbur Wood, Catfish Hunter, Jim Palmer. NL MVP goes to Hank Aaron, 448 votes. Willie Stargell cracked the 400 mark. Then we have Joe Morgan, Willie McCovey, and Rico Cardi. NL Cy Young goes to Gaylord Perry, well ahead of runner-up Don Sutton. We have Ken Forsch, George H. Stone of the Braves, and Clay Kirby. All right, let's take a look at the Season 13 special events. So the Giants take the lead in points. 3.5. Red Sox with 3. Let's see who else is still in the mix here. Athletics 2.5. I think everybody else, Twins 1.5. Everybody else with 1 or a half point. That's that I mentioned earlier. So I'll say it's kind of a 3-team race, but oh, the White Sox have 1.5 as well. It's hard to keep up. So it may be just taking longer than some of the other seasons, but there are at least 2 teams that are emerging as the top teams in this particular replay. We'll see which one can reach that 4-point mark first. All right. Triple plays. Oh, there's quite a few of them here. It's at least a dozen. Home runs. 3 homer games. Earl Williams, Harmon Killebrew, Darrell Evans, Hank Aaron, Dick Allen, Earl Williams, Carlton Fisk, Norm Cash, Rico Petrocelli, and Ed Kranepool of the Mets. 6-hit games, three guys with 6 hits apiece. Uh, 5 guys hit for the cycle. Looks like 8 guys with inside the park home runs. Strikeouts got 15 by Nolan Ryan. Anything else of interest here? Nope, doesn't look like. And no hitters because we're already at the complete game mark there. So That concludes season 13, and we will keep moving forward until we determine a winner here. All right, let's restore season number 14 here. See if anybody can reach the 4-point mark, or if we will continue on into season 15. And we have the Orioles 103, the Twins 104. So the Twins get the point. That's going to bring them. Where's my list here? There we go. Twins. Okay, that brings the Twins to 2.5. So updating our list, we have Giants 3.5, Red Sox 3, Twins 2.5, Athletics 2.5, White Sox 1.5. Got the Braves with 1, the Orioles with a 0.5 point, and hopefully I didn't miss anybody. So we are still going here. Let's dive in. AL East, Twins. 2-game lead over Boston. Boston was only, 4 victories from pulling it out, claiming the championship, but they did not. Great run differential for both clubs there. Got the Yankees with 88 wins, Tigers 500 season. And over in the AL West, we've got the Twins and the A's both over 100 victories as well, but the Twins with a 308 run differential. They claim the division by 2 games. White Sox 12 back, everybody else sub 500. And actually the Rangers here drop into last place. I know the Royals have mostly been in last here. The Rangers with a 48 and 114 loss season. Not good, Rangers. NL East. Pirates. 2.5 over the Mets, 3.5 over the Cubs. Everybody else below 500. Expos 110 losses. And in the NL West, we've got the Astros. That might be their first title in this particular half-decade series. 2-game margin over the Giants. Dodgers with 93 wins, Reds with 92, Braves with 87. And the Padres only 1 game better than Texas. So Texas had the worst record overall. There's our batting leaders. Rod Carew, another batting crown at 367 over teammate Tony Oliva at 345. I've got Mike Hargrove, the human rain delay at 344. Al Bumbry, and Bobby Mercer. Home run and RBI lead, Harmon Killebrew, 57 and 170. Tony Canigliaro, runner-up in both categories with 51 big flies and 156 ribbies. Bill Melton, 40 jacks. Carl Yastrzemski, 37. Boog Powell, 36. Over in the RBI column, we had Tony Oliva third with 152, Carlton Fisk, and Mike Epstein. Over in the senior circuit, we've got Joe Torre claiming the batting title at 362 for the Braves. We've got Al Oliver second for the Pirates at 352, Rico Carty 345, Wes Parker 340, Pete Rose Sr. 330. Home run and RBI lead goes to Hank Aaron, 63 circuit clouts and 183 ribeye steaks. We've got Willie Stargell with 50 homers, followed by Nate Colbert, Willie McCovey, and Jimmy Wynn. Runner-up in RBI was Billy Williams of the Cubs, 137, Willie Stargell, Tony Perez, John Mabry Sr. ERA leaders, Roger Nelson again, 228. Dick Woodson of the Twins makes an appearance at 2.42. Fred Sherman of the Twins, don't think we've seen him on the list yet, 2.58. Pat Dobson, 260. Vida Blue, 265. Blue with the most victories, 21, followed by Mickey Lolich, Dave McNally, Roger Nelson, and Burt Blyleven. Save lead goes to Sparky Lyle of the Orioles, 45, followed by Mudcat Grant, Ken Sanders, Tom Buskey, Bill Campbell. NL pitching, Don Sutton, 2.09 ERA, a little bit better than Tom Seaver, Buzz Capra, Jack Billingham, Gaylord Perry. 3 pitchers tied with 21 victories. That was Claude Osteen of the Reds, Gaylord Perry, Don Sutton, and we had Don Wilson with 20, and Ron Schuler of the Braves with 18. Save lead, Stan Williams, 45, Ramon Hernandez, Tug McGraw, Dave Justy, Elias Sosa. Leading vote getters, we have Harmon Killebrew with 420 votes over his teammate Tony Oliva. And we had 2 Red Sox, Tony C. and Pudge Fisk, and Boog Powell rounding out the top 5. AL Cy Young, we've got Vida Blue, 20 votes better than Dave McNally, Roger Nelson, and followed by Milt Pappas of the Orioles and Mickey Lolich. NL MVP honors, Hank Aaron by pretty much a landslide there. Billy Williams, runner-up. Willie Stargell, Tony Perez, Willie McCovey. NL Cy Young goes to Don Sutton over Claude Osteen, Gaylord Perry, Ron Schuler, Don Wilson. All right, season 14. Let's check out the special events here. So I said we were going to extra innings, but we are deep into extra innings at this point. 14 seasons in, and still no one wants to nab that 4th point to take the title. We will press on, but let's take a look at the reports here. See if we got any no-hitters, 4 homer games. Really haven't had any high strikeout games, so I'm kind of surprised given the fact that we've got, Nolan Ryan, Bob Gibson, Tom Seaver, some of these other guys that were able to rack up those Ks. But again, we're facing the top 40 players on each roster. So not quite all-star teams in that respect, but definitely better than any team's single season entry, I would say. So I think that suppresses the strikeout totals a bit. All right, let's scroll down here. Oh, well, a lot of triple plays. It's maybe almost definitely over 15, maybe 20 of them. Home runs. We've got a decent amount of 3-homer games here. Let's see if we can name them all. Norm Cash, Jim Hickman, Bell of the Indians. Guessing Buddy Bell. It's kind of a surprise though. Rick Monday, 3-homer game. It's Harmon Killebrew, Willie Mays, Bobby Bonds, Amos Otis, Mike Epstein, and Johnson of the Brewers. And since that's a fill-in, I'm just curious who that is, so let's check real quick. Johnson of the Brewers, but it's not an original Brewer. Frank Johnson, 4 for 5 with 3 homers and 9 RBIs. Heck of a game. All right, press on here. Rod Carew, 6 hits in a game. Stolen bases. Three cycles. And inside the park homers, about 10 of them there. Strikeout events, 12, 15 by Bob Gibson, 16 by Ryan. '16 by Gibson. Looks like the high. And one no-hitter, Ray Culp of the Phillies. And the Padres turned a triple play in this game. Cool. All right. No hits, no runs, 9 strikeouts, and only 1 walk for Ray Culp. All right. We were facing a Padres lineup with not a lot of originals here. They had Johnny Grubb, Dave W. Roberts, Hilton, and Big Dave Winfield. Johnny Grubb drew the only base on balls. And for the Phillies, Mike Schmidt, homer, 3 RBIs. Toby Harrah, Denny Doyle, 2 ribbies. Dan Spillner got pummeled in this one. Fell to 2 and 12. But he's an original Padre there. And Ray Culp improved to 11 and 6 with his no-hitter. So that was at Veterans Stadium. All right, season 14 in the books. Let's move ahead. Restore. Season 15. Well, much appreciation and kudos if you've stuck with me this far, because this is obviously longer than our 10 season recaps. All right. Season number 15, Boston 102, Twins 106, Giants 101. Twins get another point, and that puts them right on the cusp, tied with the Giants now, 3.5 points, 1.5 point ahead of Boston, and the A's with 2.5. Everybody else behind them will just focus on those 4 for now because they're at or near the 4 point. They're all near the 4 point mark. Nobody else is that close at this point. American League East, Boston 3 games over Baltimore. Again, 200 run differential. Yankees, Detroit, a little bit over 500, but well back in the standings. AL West, we've got the Twins by 4 games over the White Sox. A's a little bit further back, and everybody else sub 500. NL East, got the Pirates, 2.5 up on the Cubs. Cubs almost taking a title here. Look at that. Phillies, 86 wins. Everyone else below 500. And historically bad season by the Padres here, 34 and 128, minus 420 run differential. That's staggeringly bad. The Giants with 101 wins, 5 better than Houston. I've got the Reds, the Braves, and the Dodgers all above 500. AL batting. Glenn Beckert takes the batting crown over Rod Carew, Al Bumbry, Rich Coggins, and Steve Braun of the Twins. AL home run leaders, Reggie Jackson, 51. Bill Melton, Boog Powell, Carl Yastrzemski, Harmon Killebrew. Powell with the RBI lead, 142, followed by Melton, Killebrew, Smith, and Jackson. NL batting, we've got sweet swinging Billy Williams, 372, takes the batting crown. Ralph Garr runner up at 359. His teammate Rico Carty at 358. And also Braves teammate Joe Torre, 4th at 355. Pete Rose rounding out the top 5 at 342. Got Hank Aaron, 59 big flies, 1 better than Billy Williams. Frank Howard next with 51. Then Dick Allen, Tony Perez. Billy Williams, 187 RBI. That is crazy, and that's why the Cubs were as good as they were, I would say. Billy Williams, heck of a season here. Hank Aaron, 165 RBI. Rico Carty, Frank Howard, Willie Stargell. AL pitching leader Fred Bean, 1.83 for the Orioles. Wilbur Wood, Jim Perry, Roger Nelson, Pat Dobson. Roger Nelson comes up with 27 victories for the Pale Hose. Wilbur Wood, 25. Burt Blyleven, 22. Vida Blue, Catfish Hunter, also among the win leaders there. Save leader is Bill Campbell with 46. Followed by John Hiller, Sparky Lyle, Ken Sanders, Terry Forster. NL pitching leaders, Gaylord Perry, 1.9. Buzz Capra, Don Wilson, Steve Carlton, Don Sutton. Seen most of these folks up here before. Carlton, 21 victories, better than Gaylord Perry, Don Sutton. There's a Doc Ellis sighting, 18 wins, and Steve Blass, his teammate, with 17. Ron Peranowski, 45 saves over Elias Sosa, Stan Williams, Orlando Pena, Lindy McDaniel. Top vote getters, Boog Powell notches the AL MVP award by 14 votes over Reggie Jackson. And then we had Harmon Killebrew, Carl Yastrzemski, and Reggie Smith. AL Cy Young goes to Roger Nelson with his 27 victories and decent ERA. Wilbur Wood next. Then Burt Blyleven, Vida Blue, Catfish Hunter. NL MVP goes to Billy Williams, 491 votes. Hank Aaron, Rico Carty, all over 400 votes. Pretty incredible. Willie Stargell, Joe Morgan in the top five. NL Cy Young goes to Steve Carlton, 10 points, 10 votes better than Gaylord Perry, then Don Sutton, Rick Russell, Doc Ellis. Alrighty. Let's go here. Yeah, I did not think when I started this project that I would go beyond the 15 season mark to resolve a winner. But here we are, 15 seasons in, and two teams with 3.5 points, one with 3 points. So I guess they're fairly evenly matched. Pretty good talent pool among those clubs. If we want to throw the A's into the mix, right? So Twins, Giants, Red Sox, A's. And these are this half decade is really the first is going to be um, the first half decade of teams that are seeing the fruits of the amateur draft and kind of the end of the dominance of the Yankees and Cardinals and teams that had uh, the super farm systems of the from the 30s, 40s, and 50s. Just like the endless pools of talent to draw from. Yeah, you still had to know who you were, you know, who to pick in the draft, but the talent was more evenly distributed. So anyway, enough on that. We're gonna scroll down and check out the special events here for season number 15. We've got about eight triple plays, home run events, Boog Powell, Dick Allen, Darrell Porter, Don Money, Johnny Bench, Darrell Evans, Frank Howard. Gonna say Ted Ford of the Indians there. Um, two guys with 6 hits in a game. Four players hitting for the cycle. 7 guys with inside the park home runs. Strikeouts, a bunch of 12s, 13s. There's a 14. Yep, 14 is the high. 2 no-hitters. Messersmith of the Angels, no-hitting the Royals, and Catfish Hunter no-hitting the Angels. Now let's take a look. Andy Messersmith. 9 innings, no hits, no runs, 8 strikeouts, 1 walk. And now we've touched on this before. Royals, George Brett, Jim Walford. And is that it? That is it for original Royals in the lineup here. Yeah, number of fill-ins there. It is what it is. Louis Alvarado drew the walk. Angels, any offense for the Angels here? We had Rick Reichert and Hal King homering. Middle of the order there. Jay Johnstone, 3 hits. These are all original Angels here. And Messersmith, 9 innings, 1 walk, 8 Ks. Steve Busby took the loss. That was at Anaheim Stadium. All right, and let's take a look at this one. Catfish Hunter with a 1-0 no-hitter. Let's look at the summary first. No hits, no runs, 7 Ks, 2 walks. All right. 2 walks. Ed Kirkpatrick, both walks. Again, all originals. Not a stellar lineup by any means, but some of these were solid major leaguers, had some decent years. For Campaneris with the lone RBI. Tom Bradley, tough luck loss. And Hunter goes to 9-5 with his no-hitter. ERA is a bit high there. All right, that is season 15. All right. Let's take a look at season number 16 here and see what we got. All right, we have a winner. We have a winner, Boston Red Sox. 109 wins. That's going to vault them ahead of the Twins and the Giants and give them 4 points. And they will claim the victory in the Hardball Retro Original 1970 through 74 season replays. Okay, congratulations to Boston. And those other teams just came up a little bit short there, but wow, epic battle for 16 seasons. So let's get to it here. Red Sox, 109 wins, 269 run differential, 16 games better than Baltimore. Everybody else sub 500. But the Brew Crew gets under the 100 loss mark, so that is an interesting note there. Over in the American League West, we've got the A's with 107 wins. They were only a couple wins shy of getting into the 3.5 point range as well. So the A's were certainly strong here. The Twins and the White Sox both 14 games back. NL East, Cardinals by a single victory over Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh made it close at the end with an 8-2 run. The Mets just over 500. Expos 115 losses. We've got the Giants with 99 wins, 6 better than the Braves. And we've got the Reds and the Astros both in the mix there. Dodgers just 1 game below 500. And the Padres 116 losses. That's the worst in this particular, in season 16 anyway. Take a look at the batting leaders. We've got Rod Carew by a single point over Lenny Randle. Good battle for the batting title there. Carl Yastrzemski third, 338. He was in the mix, definitely. Bobby Mercer and Carlos May of the White Sox, fifth at 327. Home run and RBI leader, Mike Epstein of the Orioles, 44 and 156. Runner-up, both categories, Darren Johnson of the Yankees, 43 and 120. Got Darrell Evans, Carl Yastrzemski, and Greg Nettles, 3 through 5 in the home run race. And then for RBIs, we have Bobby Mercer, Darrell Evans, Reggie Jackson. NL batting, Greg Gross of the Astros with the batting title, 345. Joe Torre, Pete Rose, Ralph Garr, Billy Williams, rounding out the top 5 there. Number 1 in homer and RBIs, Hank Aaron with 59 and 179. For homers, Nate Colbert, runner-up with 47, followed by Dick Allen, Johnny Bench, Frank Howard. And RBIs, we've got Willie Stargell, Billy Williams, Nate Colbert, Tony Perez. AL pitching, got Vida Blue, 1.89, and he also led the league with 25 victories here. So True Blue making his presence known, almost willing the A's to victory there, but they came up a little bit short. Raleigh Fingers, runner-up in ERA for the A's, 2.22. Ken Brett, Fred Bean, Wilbur Wood. And in victories, we had a couple other 20-game winners here. Catfish Hunter and Wilbur Wood with 21. Jim Cott and Jim Palmer with 20. Save leaders, Bill Campbell of the Twins, 44. One better than Mike Garman and John Hiller. Followed by Tom A. Murphy of the Angels and Ken Sanders of the A's. NL pitching leaders, Don Wilson of the Astros, 1.95, takes the ERA crown. Over Nolan Ryan, Don Sutton, Buzz Capra, Tom Seaver. Got Gaylord Perry with 23 victories leading the way over Don Wilson, Steve Blass, Steve Carlton, Bob Gibson. Lindy McDaniel, 52 saves for the Cards. Clay Carroll, Ramon Hernandez, Tug McGraw, Stan Williams. And leading vote getters, we've got Mike Epstein taking the AL MVP over Roy White, Bobby Mercer, Carl Yastrzemski, and Don Buford. AL Cy Young goes to Vida True Blue, well ahead of Wilbur Wood, Catfish Hunter, Jim Cott, Roger Nelson. NL MVP, Hank Aaron over Willie Stargell, Tony Perez, Dick Allen, Willie McCovey. And NL Cy Young goes to Gaylord Perry, ahead of Russ Grimsley Jr., Don Wilson, Steve Carlton, and Jack Billingham. All right, let's go to special events for season 16. And then we'll also look at encyclopedia reports here. A little glimpse at the overall numbers. But let's do our special events. So just looking back at the season by season here, the Red Sox had reached the 3-point mark in season 8. And then it took them 8 more seasons to rack up that fourth point. So, well, it allowed us to forge ahead and see a lot more baseball here. Among it was a really epic battle there with the Giants and Twins getting into the mix as well. So that was fun to watch. We had the White Sox win a season in there. The A's and the White Sox tied season 12. So this was a lot of fun. Scrolling down to triple plays, looks like about a dozen, maybe a little more than that. Homers, Tony Oliva, Bob Robertson, Hart, fill in. Probably Jim Ray Hart, I'm going to say. Don Money, Bob Tillman, Darren Johnson, Rico Cardi, Carl Yastrzemski, Amos Otis, George C. Scott, Nate Colbert, and Johnny Bench with 3 homers. No 4-homer games, best I could tell. 2 guys with 6-hit games here, Rose and Pepitone. Hardly any 3-steal games. That's kind of surprising. Well, after 16 seasons, I guess everybody was exhausted, right? Cycles. Only 1 cycle, only 1 in the park homer. Wow. Just nobody could run anymore. Strikeout games, let's see. 12, 13, 12, 12, 12, 12, 13. There's a couple 14s. Oh, there's a lot of these. 15 by Seaver seems to be the high point. 2 no-hitters. Gogolewski for the Rangers against the Tigers. And McDowell, Sam McDowell. All right, let's check these out. No hits, no runs, 4 Ks, 5 walks. This was at Arlington. No hit, a pretty good Tiger lineup here, I would say. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Here's the 4 walks here. Homers by Jim Sundberg and Jeff Burrows. Mickey Lolich took the loss. Bill Gogolewski. All right. Good game there. And Sam McDowell strikes out 12 batters, throws a no-hitter. No hits the Orioles. I mean, this was definitely a pretty stacked lineup here. Look at this. Grich, Boog Powell, Baylor, Epstein, Brooks Robinson. What do we have? Oh, we had 8 walks in the game. Wow. Indians offense. 3 hits by Eddie Leon. 2 by Fran Healy. A couple of names I did not expect to be saying in our recap here, but there you go. That's what makes this fun, right? Oh, 2 hits for John Lowenstein also. Dave McNally takes the loss. And sudden Sam McDowell, 9 innings, no hits, 8 walks, 12 Ks. That sounds about right. All right, Encyclopedia reports. I think I may have to, yeah, let's see. Nope, looks like we got them here. All right. So here, yeah, we can look at awards by year. I'm not going to go through these. Franchise standings. So the A's actually had the best overall record. I mean, 618, 615, 611. These are all excellent. But just to show you what these reports are here, and then you can look at the divisional winners by year. Let's look at career leaders, and let me just make sure I've got the right settings here. I want to do 3,000, 1,000. All right, so Carew overall, 352. Rose, Cardi, Gar, and Clemente. Got on base, slugging. No surprise there, Hank Aaron. Scroll down a bit. 898 homers, 16 seasons. Want to do the math? Feel free. Well ahead of Stargell, Bench, Allen, and Williams. Rico Cardi with the most runs scored. Um, he was probably hitting in front of Aaron, I would say, for a good portion of his time in the lineup. So that would sort of explain that. I mean, the Braves lineup was pretty stacked, right? Gar and Torrey and all those guys. So um, stolen base, Larry Lintz. Hit leader, Carew. So I'll just scroll down here. If you want to pause and look at any of these, you can. All right, so that's the career batting. Let's look at pitching here. We are going to get, again, these are relief pitchers pitching 100 innings a year, so they are going to creep into the pitching leaders a bit. So Tom Hall, Ramon Hernandez, but Don Sutton, Vida Blue, Roger Nelson, all in this 2.5 area here. Vida Blue with the most innings overall. Vida Blue with the most wins overall. Don Sutton, 192 complete games in 16 seasons. So definitely more than 10 per year. Saves, Ken Sanders of the A's. Strikeouts, Nolan Ryan. Tom Seaver right up there with him. Vida Blue. Home runs allowed. Hits per 9, strikeouts per 9, walks per 9. All right, and then we're not going to go through these, but just to show you, you can look at the overall career batting. You can sort them any way you want. So, sort by home runs. That's your least home runs. That's your most home runs. OPS. So I think that's going to wrap it for us here for Hardball Retro Originals 1970 through 74 season replay. Keep an eye out for some more of these recaps along with the postseason. I will be sharing the postseason, the recap of any playoff rounds, and then game by game, I'll be doing the play-by-play of the World Series, allowing the computer to manage both teams, but just sharing those games. And those are more for fun. So, like with this particular season, Boston is still declared as the overall winner, regardless of the outcome of the World Series there. But it's just more of a, to show you the play-by-play and how the results of individual games turn out using the digital diamond baseball. So again, we will see you soon. Keep playing ball. Take care.